Town's #1 rock station, Z159 FM.
Right.
Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Oh yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
Z159 FM.
Hello, we're back. Hopefully everything works. I'd like to thank SJ for popping in there and checking the cameras. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. I need to fix Crystal's camera so it's not just on her
Chesticles?
her chesticles.
All
I mean, I
right.
want it there, but that's kind of rude. Kind of rude.
You can put mine on my tits.
I'll put it on your tits.
I don't
Ross?
mind a little.
A little? You want a little? I'll give you a little. Hold on.
Well, because it's like pregnant women wearing tight clothes.
There we go. I gave you a little bit of
So
cleavage.
you
You know
know
what?
they're
You know what I did?
Yeah.
Now, if you look up there, you know what I did? I just, like, right now, they're just peeking out of a hot tub. You see what I did there? Yeah. I just,
So when I laugh,
That's one of my favorite things as a young boy. I still remember, if I see that now, if I see a woman in a hot tub and it doesn't look like she has a top on and it's just, like there's bubbles
Floating up
and then
there?
a little bit of cleavage, I'm like, like it's like instant. And I think it's because this is the warm up. I saw a video on Playboy and it was like one of the first images and
Yeah.
they used to do the cleverly placed. I love a cleverly placed bubble. I'm in.
In a
I'm all in on
bathtub,
cleverly placed bubble.
In a hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the bubble, not the. Don't blur. Just put a bubble there. It looks more natural. It doesn't break the third wall. It makes me feel like I'm in the picture.
You know what else?
If you put something like an emoji or something, you're breaking the wall down.
Yeah.
Put the bubble there so I feel like I'm like lurking,
Playboy
which is a little creepy, I guess.
Playboy would do that with bubbles, and they would do that with hay from like a hay
Yeah.
bale. There's always a bunny laying on a hay bale with just a little spray of hay covering
like
the
it.
crucial parts. Yeah.
Cleverly placed hay.
I've never considered any of that. What you guys just talked about.
Little boys.
You never looked through all your uncle's Playboys?
I did no, my dad's.
And you never looked at any of the cleverly placed bubbles, or?
I don't know.
Playboy got crazy where they would do like a girl blowing bubbles, right? And then they'd Photoshop them. This is like when Photoshop was just starting. Then they'd Photoshop a bubble like covering her bush. And I'd be like, wow, they do that. Like it was like magic to me. It's like, how'd they get the bubble to go right in front of her bush? That's how dumb I was. Fucking real horny dumb.
Well, it depends how long ago it was. It may have been a
They could've.
person there
You're right.
blowing the bubbles around and they got the right shot.
You're not wrong. You know what?
Somewhere
I bet
there's a reel of film
with
a lot of bush
and a lot of bubbles.
and a lot of bubbles in the wrong
We're changing
spot.
the show to Bush and Bubbles. And I bubbles. I'm becoming hi.
There's also a fair amount of pee-pee in adult films.
Well, that was Hustler. That was Hustler. Don't. That was
Like
not
urine?
Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there'd be videos, and then before the actual sex part,
Yeah.
the girl would just squat and pee-pee on the floor.
But before she peed,
Why did you even bring that up?
but before she peed,
Because
she
that
would.
It's not relevant.
Before she peed, she would make a V with
I
her
don't know
fingers.
why
This
it
is
was
true.
there, though.
No, you're forgetting an important part. Every single
when I was-
time they would pee, they would V their vagina out. V for vagina.
Is this
They-
ACT warm-up?
Yeah,
I mean,
and they'd
yeah,
V it out,
You have to get it out.
and they'd V it out so they could arc.
Which ladies all do to pee anyway, right?
Yeah. I make
Only when
Andrea
we're
do it.
standing.
But the
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I pee.
I make Andrea pee. I show me your V. All right.
The
Now
reason
you
why
can
I brought
pee.
it up is I was very
check.
confused when I was younger. I was like, why? Who wants this in here? Why are they putting this in here?
Were you confused younger, or were you confused when you got older and nobody did that?
No, well,
I just imagine
don't-
my mom doing it. I was like,
No, no,
what the
no,
fuck?
God.
Why are they? Why are the pee-pee?
Yeah,
Why?
I was wondering, like, did you meet my mom pissing on hay, Dad? I asked him that on his deathbed.
I like Crystal's scenario though, where like the first time you're about to have sex, you're gonna be like, "Did you pee?"
Have you done that already?
Look at her there, sipping my favorite beverage. There she is. Is she gonna finish it? She'll finish it. The delicious Diet Coke.
Is this a Donald Trump drink now?
Oh, it's all he drinks.
The Diet Coke?
He drinks 19 a day.
Um,
And I could do that too. I love Diet Coke. All right, who's ready to start?
Let's do it.
All right, ACT?
Yeah.
First segment?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and we are back from vacation.
Yes, Ross McCoy's here. How you doing, Ross?
Hey guys.
Crystal Van is here. How you doing,
Hello.
Crystal? One half of the Barbaric team.
We are live on
you.
Twitch and YouTube. Just search for @TomandDan Live. Come watch us.
I invited Crystal in to tell some stories from Sweden.
She doesn't need to be invited in. You know you can come and go as you please, right?
I think so.
As one of the owners, you're allowed
I feel
to.
like I should be
Yeah, yeah.
invited.
You're allowed to just come and go as you please.
So let's get to it because we got a lot of stories
Yeah,
to
yeah,
tell.
yeah, we do.
Daniel went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Where Maisie won her
You want to start with that? We can start
dance
there.
competition.
Yeah, so Maisie did. We can get that out of the way. She had made a goal for herself in 2024. She had won a national title, but did not get, or she had won a national championship, but did not win a title. Because to win a title, that's kind of like the complete package as far as I understand it, as like a dance dad, you know. She was always very good with the technical aspects of dance, like pointing her toes, making sure that every move is perfect. But she gets caught in the resting bitch face sometimes, or, you know, like Daddy. You know, you get Daddy has a bit of a, you maybe poke your tongue out while you're editing kind of a face, right? Everybody knows what it's like to have a face that you do when you're like really concentrating. So her goal for 2025 was to try and not only be technically accurate, but to put that showmanship on top of it. You know, to work on they call it faces. Work on your faces, work on your movements. In some cases, if you don't practice your faces, and Maisie has been doing it like a lot, the teacher will make you look into the phone, FaceTime the teacher, and make your faces. Like to get over that hump
so
of having to
awkward.
know. You got it like.
I'd make the argument.
It's a good thing for her to practice at a young age, I think.
Yeah.
Though.
It gives you the balls to be able to kind of do, like, for instance, there's like, I'll give you a for instance, because it takes me a little bit to understand it. Like, neither me or Andrea are dancers, so we're kind of coming in blind, you know?
I'm trying to think of another sport where you could be insanely successful. Like,
Yeah.
you sink every three-pointer.
Yeah.
Like, you go out there and you're just, like, putting up 85 points a game in the NBA, but they're like, but
You
I
were
don't like the way
smiling.
I don't like the way his face looks when he's doing it.
You know what? I've
like-
thought about that too.
Yeah.
And I
He
think
looked like he was mad.
Yeah, he kind of frowned when he was putting up 85 on the board. I don't like that guy.
That's a
LeBron.
woman. Yeah, change that to women's sports though.
I think that was I think the reason for that though is because like they had to separate it because you could have somebody technical out there doing all the moves the best, but then you look at them and you're like, they look miserable.
Yeah,
right.
you're scoring them on not just their technical, like it's the outfit, the hair is part of it, the makeup.
Well, the whole
like,
it's
whole
the complete
thing.
package.
Yeah,
right.
so I get it.
So, yeah, so she made her goal this year in 2025 to not just be technical, but to also bring that like, and I don't know what else. If I'm wrong on this, dance people weigh in. I'm not a dancer. This is just what I know that I'm good at. I'm a
you're
good
so
showman.
graceful.
I know I can perform, right? And I know that I can make faces that make people laugh, and I know I can make faces that make people think I'm having a good time. So that's basically what I told her is like, well, then you just got to practice it. So her goal was to add that showmanship to it, and damned if she didn't do it. She went out there, and not only was she the highest point total in her age division, 9 to 11, she out of 140 girls, she was the highest score, and then she put those faces on it, and she got the big ass Elsa crown and a trophy that is about a foot taller than me.
I saw that.
It is a massive we couldn't even bring it home. We had to get somebody to bring the trophy home. We couldn't fit it in the car.
Really?
So, but yeah, we're just like, well, I don't know. And she don't even care about it. I was just like, what do you want to do with it? She's like, let's throw it in the creek. You know, it's like, she don't care about that trophy. Like she don't give a damn about it. She just wants to dance. Like all she wants to do is dance. I was like, what if you gotten 16th place? She'd be like, well, at least I placed.
Good for her.
Okay, you know she's got a good attitude.
God,
so,
I
yeah.
wish I could have bet on her, because that would have been a sure thing.
Yeah, she did
100%.
good. I'm so proud of her, and without like going on and on, because I want to post about it a million times because I'm so freaking proud of her. But I cry all the time. Like I think about it, I start crying. Watching her dance, I start crying. There's a video, I think I may have even sent it to some people, maybe even you, where it like you can see me watching it, and then it takes my breath away when I see her succeed. You know, like it steals my life like a little bit. I die like in a good way.
Hey,
'Cause it's you.
You know who can
Yeah.
use Maisie's help with faces? Oh, Mr. You can't smile for pictures over here. Like maybe she could teach him how to actually
But that's
do
the
that.
thing. She doesn't. The faces don't come natural, right? She likes the
Right.
technique.
Yeah,
she don't
so-
like the faces.
She could like help this guy with her system of face improvement.
I mean, they have so many little things in common that drive me crazy. Like yesterday, she told me, she's like, "Daddy, you need to buy cowboyhatsunday.com."
Don't put that
And
out there.
and then we're gonna. Oh yeah, I shouldn't say
Somebody's
that.
gonna
That's
say
how
it.
I feel. They always say things, and I'm
Yeah.
like, shh.
Clippy, beep that out.
Yeah,
beep that out because we're
Maisie's
definitely
like,
buying.
Daddy, you need to buy cowboyhatsunday.com, and we're gonna start a website. I'm like, well, how are we gonna make money on it? She's like, we'll figure that out.
We
Figure it
sell
out later.
cowboy hats.
But anyway, yeah. So we went to Tennessee. We did a great job. Andrea and Maisie did a great job. I was the chef. So every night when they would come in, I was
like Raekwon is to the Wu-Tang Clan?
more like Cookie at a old cowboy campsite. You know,
Hey,
like,
every athlete needs a good meal.
you know what's funny is we did, and Andrea's kind of talking about this. Andrea was like, you know what, we did, you know, because I almost feel like she knows like how little I have to do with this, other than maybe giving her the genes to love performing. You know, I'll take that. If somebody wanted to give me that, I'll take that. Everything else I'm going to give to Andrea and to Maisie. Like, I do very little. Like, who cooks a hamburger helper? Oh, that's real hard. A robot can do that. In a couple of years, a robot's they're just going to kick me right out the door. They're going to have their food robot cooking the food while she's dancing.
No, you make real hamburger helper though. You don't make box.
I don't make. Well, that's the thing is that Andrea was saying, like, is that I was providing healthier meals. Like we had, you know, we're having some pork chops and rice, or having some, you know, homemade hamburger helper. We have like some spaghetti with meat sauce instead of having to eat. And a lot of kids were there. You know, thousands of kids actually were eating just fast food around Pigeon Forge.
Yeah,
whatever's
absolutely.
easiest.
And if you want to beat 100 or 140 different girls in your age division, you should probably be eating better stuff and going to bed at the right time. Another thing she does that drives me crazy, if I can just complain, is that her friends all invited her out to do stuff. Like, they have the most mountain coasters I've ever seen. The alpine coasters that the Vans love, that the Vans taught the Dennises to love. So now we love alpine coasters. She wouldn't leave the place to go on any of it.
Why?
Because once we get home, she's like, no, I want to take my shower and I want to relax and get ready for tomorrow dance.
Well, that's how you become the best.
You're right. You're not wrong.
That's what Olympians. I'm telling you.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it does.
Yeah.
It's
Ignore
a little
distractions. Focus.
It is a little. And these are actual complaints. I'm not going to say them to her, but I'll gladly say them to you guys. I wouldn't have mind going up the street to the turquoise jewelry store to get my statement ring for my right hand to go with my biker look that I'm curating. But we didn't have any time.
And you know, Pigeon Forge turquoise is the best turquoise.
I thought going to a Pigeon Forge in a story and buying it from Dolly Parton, Seaver County. I was like, oh, I'll have a turquoise ring. I know that Crystal's going to get my back on turquoise.
You know I will.
And I was like, and Maisie and I started picking them out online. No time. We have no time for that. I got to be in bed by 7:30, Daddy.
Wow.
We had to put her in the bottom bunk of a bunk bed and then put sheets around it to make it dark because the champ wanted to sleep.
You probably could have traded that trophy for like a turquoise pinky ring, easy.
We almost threw it in the creek. Just as it'd be a funny video.
Have you told her about hyperbaric chambers? She can sleep in one and then get her white blood.
I'm gonna start calling her Little Rogan.
A red blood cell count up to the 20,000
Let's
feet.
keep this a hobby.
Who's the youngest person ever to take stem cells? Like, is it possible to take stem cells when you're still making them?
You don't need that much blood to have her blood dope because she doesn't have that much blood.
You're
Just
right.
a little bit
You're
of
right. Can
blood.
I do anything
She
with
already
my...
was number one. What more do you want?
Which now she
gotta
hit.
stay
She's got to
number
stay
one.
number one. Yeah.
To be fair, Crystal, she's nationally number one. There is the international dance competitions as
Oh
well.
boy.
Is there any
true.
sort of cash prize?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She got $250, I think.
Oh, wow.
That seems like a drop in the ocean compared to what y'all have spent. I mean, I don't know what you've spent. but I can only
tell you.
I would have complained about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I will add that $250 to the $20,000 I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least 2,500.
What are you guys, my wife talking about me playing poker or what?
It is really. I mean, and I don't think they even get the big jumbo check or anything. And they do the
a
runner
Venmo.
up. They do the runner up so dirty. Like they have them on the stage, like side by side.
They do that thing.
They do, and
they do that thing where there's two of them, and
Yeah,
they're like, one
yeah.
of them is the winner, and then one of them didn't even make third place.
Yeah, that's the worst.
No, they have them side by side, and they're going to announce it, and they're like, "And our winner of our national title," and they're like, "Maisie did it!" And then they come out and they take the girl, and she had big. Oh, bless her heart. She had her costume on and like big heart glasses and was like all done out. And then they just take her and they're like, "You leave."
Yeah, because she's about to start crying.
Yeah, well, they push her right off the stage. They're like, "No, it's not about you now."
Yeah.
Oh, and I told Andrew, I go, "That was a little aggressive, right? They did second place,
Dude.
dirty as hell."
Well, I guess maybe that motivates her to try harder next year.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
And they do have to get her out to
That
the
is
parking
rough.
lot for her coach to break her trophy in front of her.
Like Cobra Kai style. Yeah.
But also, we're talking about like the highest echelon of competitors here.
Again,
that,
nationally, so international would be above that.
yeah. Well,
You know, Shred Bear brings up an interesting point. He's like, "Are those dance comps a scheme?" I think in some way they could be looked at as that, because I'm sure
everybody's paying money and
yeah,
do it.
it is a business. Don't get it twisted.
Little League is a scam too.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kids soccer is a scam.
Exactly.
It's all
Yeah.
stuff
Youth
for kids
leagues.
to develop skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, she's worked her way up to almost a level where you're peeking out of the scam,
Oh,
if
yeah.
that makes sense. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can see where you could be taken advantage of on a lower tier where maybe they're bilking you and there's nothing going on there, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I don't think that's happening here.
And by the way, everything's a scam. Tell me something that's not a scam. It was everything. It's all money. It's like
There has to be a business aspect. I mean,
And there probably is like a dance studio out there where they're not teaching like much of anything. They're having like the kids run laps and maybe watch like iPad for a little bit, and it's like glorified babysitting. But this obviously is not a scam because the girl just won a national championship from their coaching, right?
Right. Yeah. She did well. Yeah, she did, and it was competing against a
She
bunch of
did
other people.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. She
Well,
did all
I don't.
right.
Yeah, I just
did okay,
I keep
Maisie.
it chill, because I just want her to be happy.
When you go into like all these youth leagues in Europe, it did like they try to coach people up and kids up to get into the highest level of soccer or whatever.
Right.
It costs money for like unless you are like really insanely good, then they're like, hey, this kid's got a chance. Everybody else, all the other kids their families are paying money for those kids to get in there. And guess what? 98% of them don't make it professionally. And so is that a scam, or are the parents just giving them a chance?
Right, we're
to
talking
do it?
about the champ here.
Yeah.
Maisie was
Yeah.
the champion, but there's a lot of girls who just went out there and did it for fun and
Correct.
spent the same amount of money. that
I
you
would
did.
say the majority of them
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you're right.
So I think the people who are on the lower end, I just mean like the ones who didn't win
Sure,
anything,
yeah.
probably are feeling a little more scammed than you.
Okay,
are.
you're bringing
'Cause
up
you got a lot out of it.
You're bringing up the next thing I wrote down, which is it's a little more rewarding to go on these trips when she's succeeding. You know what I
Of
mean?
course,
It
yeah.
would be a hell of a lot harder to go on this.
You're like, oh my God, she's not even gonna do
But
it.
luckily,
Right.
the number one thing I have is that she loves it. And man, because I can see you having a child who might even be good at it, but doesn't love it. See what I'm saying? Like the difference for me is that she just loves it. So we'd probably be there anyway.
Yeah.
Like whether she's placing or not placing, like it's just like her favorite thing to do, like all the time.
Yeah, it's rough when you spend $13,000 and your kid every morning is like, "Oh God, do I have to go?"
Yeah,
That's too early.
and there are those people that hate that. Yeah, that's a real thing. And then the
Yeah.
parent keeps still like. That's why I would like. I may not do that. I
That's-
may just. Why would you do that? That's not helping you or the kid.
I feel like
I
that's
don't know.
probably the majority of the kid. Where it's just because you were telling me about the schedule, like you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning, like that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, so I'll give you the schedule. Like so we
Yeah.
got there, and then the first day we got to play in the creek. Andrea gave us like a day early to get there. We played in the creek. We're catching crawfish. Dansby was loving it. He loves water. He's navigating the creek. By the way, if you do that with your dog, hopefully you have a bright white dog because he was Mr. Ticks.
Oh,
my
really?
God. Oh, I picked so many ticks off that dog. But I just kind of rolled with it because he was doing dog stuff.
Yeah.
And watching a dog do, if you haven't watched your dog do, Gina and John do this all the time with their dogs. And I know it's a pain in the ass and it's weird. But if you can let your dog be a dog and do dog stuff, like running around and like swimming and nosing leaves, I don't
Digging
know,
a little hole.
it's cool.
Yeah.
And it will actually make your dog very happy. Like he was the happiest dog. So I just like let him do it. And at the end of the day, I'd take him upstairs, put him in the tub, and you just rinse him. And they don't like the water, and you just pick them off and kill them. And
I like it when greyhounds are in Manhattan apartments. That's my favorite.
yeah,
I like
the St. Bernard, and
you stick
he's on
a
the 40th floor.
I like it when you get a wolf and you put it outside in Florida. And you're
Oh
like,
my
look
God.
how hot he is.
So many people have those wolves out here.
Yeah, too many wolves. We gotta
Too
stop
hot.
that. We gotta stop that. But yeah, he loved
Husky
it.
in Florida.
So we got to do that. But then that was our play day. Okay, I kid you not. That was the day, and I'm drinking beers, and man, beers go down. You can
Quick.
drink 48 beers in one day in Tennessee. It's just so fun. And then every other day was the girls are up at 5:15, and I'm not gonna just lay in bed, so I get up at 5:15. I just gotta sit there like, ugh, like
Make
angry.
breakfast?
Yeah, no, I just sit there. I'm too early for breakfast. I'm just kind of sitting there, "Ugh." And they're like, "Okay, what are you gonna do today?" I'm like, "Oh, But you can't go back to bed. I mean, once you're up, you're up.
How many people are out there? Like
thousands of people at the competition.
so it's thousands.
Yeah, and just like hundreds of
damn.
dance troops, thousands of people, because there are 140 in her division, and then from all over different places in America. Like some people drove from I think we saw one group from I think the most we saw was like maybe Maine or something. It was far, it was pretty far. And but yeah, it was cool. All in all, I would say it was a really great experience. The cabin was fun.
How many days is the dance competition itself?
It is 5 days, 4 days.
Wow. Okay.
5 days. Yeah,
And they dance every day?
every day.
Wow.
Okay,
Well, see,
5
with,
days
with May, she had placed so high in an earlier preliminary dance competition that they invited her to the opening number, which meant they had to be up even earlier. Had she not been invited to the dance number, the opening number, she would have probably been going in around 8. But instead, they're like, we need you here at 7. So they had to be up at 5.
The amount, because obviously Maisie loves it, and this she's driven to do well, and she's won the whole thing. But imagine a lot of other parents that, like you said, the kid is they're kind of into it, they take it or leave it. But the amount of work the parents have to do, 5 days, you travel to Pigeon Forge. That's where it was at.
Yeah, Pigeon
okay.
Forge. Yeah.
And I knew that. I thought maybe it was close, and then you went to Pigeon Forge.
You thought maybe Pigeon Forge would come to you.
No, if you wait long enough, they say it will.
So he is actually in Pigeon Forge, and then
5
days of competition,
Yeah.
and then you travel 5 days of hotel. Just the amount of work the parents have to put in for this is crazy.
The dance bag, and Andrea and I argued about this. The dance bag that goes to dance is over 100 pounds.
That's crazy.
It's
Is that your Hulkin?
No, this is a giant specific for dance. It's got a rod that carries costumes on the top of it.
That's with the kid in the bag, though,
Yeah,
right?
but you have to take our arms off. But it's you have to carry those in a separate bag. But no, it'll fold out. It's got a vanity, and then it's got a place for clothing, and then a chair, and then an area for them to go and do makeup and hair and. Because you got a costume change. So for some of these, for her solo, which was insane, and I'm not allowed back there because of course I'm a man.
Right.
That's just not. Sorry, doesn't work like that anymore. Andrea,
Are there any girls without moms that have to? What do they do?
You probably get your instructor or another mom, or They had some rentable moms there that you could purchase at the. No, they don't have that, but that's not a bad idea. Actually, I should think about that. People that know how to do hair and makeup that are just wandering there, they're rentable, like a taxi, in case your mom has to poop or something, you could just get that. Never mind, bad idea. So Andrea put her on stage, then had to get her other costume ready to go. She gets off stage. There are 3 stages going at the same time in this convention center. So then they had to take the outfit, get her hair and makeup done, and then sprint across the convention center from blue stage to pink stage because her next solo is on pink stage. And then they got to get her there, and sometimes they'd have to hold the dance because they can't make it there fast enough because one stage might be running faster than the other stage. It's wild, man. It's wild.
So there's dozens of judges scoring different stages.
I think there's 3 or 4 judges per stage. And they're there the whole day. They just sit.
And then they aggregate all of those judges' scores, and that's how you get the overall winner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's how they do it.
They should give a mini trophy to Andrea.
Oh, I know. Oh, I told her that.
Right, to the
I told
mom.
her. Yeah, to the
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the greatest.
There's a percentage that the mom did to
very
make this
high.
happen.
What if the daughter won, but a different mom won best mom? That would be.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's good for the branding because they make villains too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually way better than my rentable mom idea. That's a damn good idea. Yeah, Andrea deserves it because I think Andrea could do as much as 40% of the work. Because I take away Maisie's work only because she loves it so much, and it's not work for her at all. She just likes getting out there and moving her body, man. And she loves it.
Yeah,
she
but
truly
Andrea
loves it.
loves doing it for her daughters.
She does. She does.
Maisie loves it, but then she also made a decision. I want to succeed at this at the highest level, and then she took the steps to achieve that goal. She took it to the next level, literally.
And you could only love it so much. You
That's
have
what
to
I
be
say.
sitting there, you're like, oh my
Hey,
God.
trust me, I wish you'd love it a little less.
5:30 in the morning.
I mean,
5 days in a row. I paid insane amount of money.
Well, we got to Thursday, and they're getting up at 5, and I'm looking at Andrea, and I'm like, I really would like to spend some time with you guys and do something here fun as a family. Like that would be fun.
But she also loves winning too, because like if you just love dancing, you'd be like, I don't care where I come in. I just want to go. I want to dance. I want to dance for 5 days, do all
She's
the dances and
competitive,
everything.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she made up her mind, like, I want to win this thing, and did it.
And she did it. Yeah, yeah. So I said, "What's your goal for next year?" And she's like, "Well, I guess at this point, she said, and I'm
She
like,
wants
"Oh."
to win Best Dancer and Best Mom in the same year. Never been done before. She's gonna mom herself.
Player coach,
yeah,
Trey Rollins.
Yeah.
No, she said that she wants to maintain but add more dances, and I'm like, God damn.
Oof.
All right, well, we'll try it.
Hard worker.
We'll try it. You might have to get a second mom on board. My God, I don't know what to do here. What am I gonna do? And I can only drink so much beer. You know what I mean? Like, you're killing me. I drink like in 2 days. I was like 58 beers down, man. I was like, I can't. Like, Andrea's like, how you doing? I was like, it's rough drinking all these beers by the creek. I was like, this is tough stuff.
You might need another dog to pick ticks off of.
I know. I need 2 Westies.
Yeah.
Something to slow me down.
I
think that's everything about the competition. I'm trying to think if there's anything else weird. No, like Andrea always sets it up. She sets herself up for success. Like she planned this like it's like a year in the making. Like she finds the right place right next to the venue, and she spends a ton of time on it. And I love her so much for doing it. It's wild that she's just good at it, and she organized a wonderful, easy trip for her daughter.
How was Yakov Smirnoff as host?
Oh, he was fantastic. Still got it.
I saw on your social you saw a big ass bear.
Oh, yeah, I did see a bear.
What?
I didn't think I was going to see any bears because in Florida, I've lived here for 49 years, and I've never seen a bear. And I figured Tennessee's got to be like similar. Tennessee, Georgia, the Carolinas, Florida. I kind of lump that all together, right?
Yeah.
Mountains up there.
They do have mountains up there. Never seen a bear. And then the first day, the girls are at the competition, and they're on their way home. They just text me. They're like, hey, we're leaving. We're on our way back. So that's my cue to go turn the oven on, pound the chicken breast, whatever. And I'm getting up to do that, and Dansby starts losing his mind, and it smells like a giant pile of S.
Really?
And I'm like, I think this dog's crapped, and he's barking at his own, or he's sick or something. And I stand up, and when I stand up, I look, and he is Dansby's sticking his nose through the cabin grate, and he's nose to nose with a ginormous Tennessee bear.
Whoa.
And Dansby starts barking at the bear, and the bear lets out another audible weird like that. It is so scared of Dansby, it just starts taking off. So Ted Nugent.
Wait, what smelled like shit?
The bear.
Really?
And also,
Oh, that's fine.
recorded.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got
I'm
you.
sorry
No,
about
you're
that.
good. You're good. That just means you were captivated by
I
my
thought
story.
you said it. It smelled like a big.
I may have. I thought I said a big.
He didn't. He said it
I'm sorry.
for radio.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay,
Crystal
They're
Van.
not used to
Don't
people.
worry about it.
don't know
We're
what-
still on
Crystal
vacation,
Van.
but stop. You're
You know
fine.
what? These guys are gonna let us slide. I'm gonna shame you. Crystal Van.
It made a snort noise, and the chat room's like, "Yeah, they snort. Yeah, it made a snort noise. It's like a big dog that smells like crap."
I can't get
was-
off of this. If I come to the Bart Merrick team to sell a house, are you going to curse at me, Crystal? Oh my goodness.
No,
This
I
is
don't.
not
but
what I
when
expect
I come
from
in
a-
here, I feel like I gotta naughty it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that. But it was terrified of my dog. Like it had nothing. It did not want to be near me. It was checking the trash can. We had bear trash cans. It had checked the bear trash can for Hamburger Helper or something, and it was getting the hell out of there because the little white tick monster was barking at it. It did not. It was terrified. You could tell.
Yeah.
I could have thrown could have thrown a can of soup at it or something. It was-
Yeah, it's pretty
Black bear?
awesome seeing a bear. Yeah, big
was-
ass
It was a
black
big
bear.
one.
You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
you could feel its presence. It was so big. Like it was
Yeah.
big enough for you to be like, oh, there's a. I can
Something. I
there's-
feel your
yeah.
energy.
Yeah, and then when it walks through the water, it doesn't like you can see how big. Like when it's stepping, you're like, oh, you're big.
Yeah.
And you stink really bad.
Didn't you see another one?
I think it was the same one, just
Oh.
as big. But you know what it did? It did what the Charmin bears do. It came down the mountain. I'm not kidding, Ross. It came down the mountain and it got in the creek and it was coming by and I kept Dansby in and I have a video of this. And it goes and it puts its ass in the water and it does like a couple pumps, like it's dipping its beehole. And then it got out with just its bottom half was wet, and then it just made its way like it had an
So
itch.
He must have heard you saying how bad
Oh,
he stunk.
yeah.
Yeah. Our buddy, it dipped its butt in the creek and washed its butt ass, and then went along its way. It's pretty wild, but yeah, they're really neat to see and a little scarier than I thought.
That's
Like
cool.
when you see it, you're like, oh, that's big. That's a big bear.
How was Dollywood?
Dollywood is the if you like roller coasters, I will say Dollywood is the place you got to go. We do not have roller coasters that can even sniff Dollywood.
Really?
Not even close. Hulk coaster, any of the new ones. I'm sorry, they might be great, but they will not be scarier than any of the
Is it because they're old and rickety,
No.
or is it because?
There's one that I couldn't even. I rode the first one I rode was called Thunderhead, which has I
love roller coasters.
It's a wooden roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it had 150. It's going 65 miles an hour, and it's a big drop, 150 drop.
Yeah.
It makes White Lightning, which I love. I love White Lightning. Great roller coaster over at Fun Spot. This thing is so scary. We got off of that. Maisie's like, oh, I don't know. That one rattled my brain.
Wooden coasters are fun.
I love a wooden roller coaster.
They're so loud. And then the second one we went on was called the Dragon Flyer, and this is a one of a kind. This is, I believe it's a Swedish coaster, and that she purchased for apparently she loves roller coasters and has tons of them, like 11 of them or something on property.
I would pay money to watch Dolly Parton ride a roller coaster.
Me too. And then so this one on the second drop, you go through like a tunnel and then into an inversion, and it got me. After that one, I looked at the girls and I'm like, oh, that cinnamon bread's about to come up, man. I'm like, that got me. So they rode almost every other roller coaster there, and I was very proud of Moo. She's got the bug now. She rode this one. It's the most patriotic roller coaster I've ever seen. It's called Big Eagle. And it is a giant American eagle, and you sit on his outstretched wings.
Really?
Like you're hanging under his wings.
Wow.
I need to look this up.
Yeah, look up Big Eagle. I think that's what it's called.
That sounds so awesome.
It's badass, dude. It's so cool. And Maisie said the drop, it's a 220-foot drop. I think you're going 75 miles an hour. It won all kinds of crazy awards. It is, like Maisie said, that's the scariest thing I've ever been on. I looked at Andrea, and Andrea confirmed. She's like, that was intense.
Is there a lot of Dolly Parton everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's, that's her city.
It looks fun.
Okay, so this themed Dolly Parton.
Or Dollywood's more
Americana.
More Americana,
Okay.
yeah. I'd say the theme park is more kind of like just standard Americana with like good shows and good rides and good food. The theme park food was really good. Like it was like unlike, and the crowds weren't bad. Like it is. She's done a really nice job with it. Like everything, we just threw money at it and bought the quick pass. We didn't know how long we were gonna have, and so we got all the lightning lane that you get from Dolly Parton or the quick pass. It really works. You go in the exit and they put you right on. Like they're like, here, come right on. You spend an extra $30. Here you go.
Probably less busy in the summer because you said it was hot as hell.
Oh my God, they're having a heat wave. And
I heard about this heat wave.
It got me. It was Florida hot, and I wore a stupid black hat, and I was dying. It was so hot out there. And but Dollywood, unlike another theme park, they were giving out free water the whole day. They're like, come and get water and ice, water and ice, water and ice.
I living in
Free
Orlando.
water.
I know. I know.
Not my Dollywood. Charge for that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been given anything free at any of our theme parks here in
No,
town.
they're like, it's hot. Good. Here's a $7 bottle of water.
I would say if you don't like theme parks, that one's worth a shot because you might like it because it is different. They have a lot of shade. They have some areas you can go to that are just covered in trees. And if you just want to park your ass there and send mom and dad out to other places, you can do that. Yeah, I was very impressed with Dollywood.
Here in Florida, the parks focus on like quote unquote rides. So it might be a roller coaster, it might be like a half and half like the Mummy, or it could just be like a full on Simpsons like thing. I forgot about like up north you get coaster parks. Like, I grew up in Pennsylvania, and we had this park called Kennywood.
Yes, dude.
And
Kennywood's great.
It's like the #1 coaster park in the world, like, when I was growing up. And, like, my two favorites were, it was an old wooden coaster called the Jackrabbit that, like, it had big, scary drops. And, like, you literally would be standing in line, and bolts would just be falling off of it. You'd be like, how many until it just falls apart? I don't know. I'll probably get off the ride. And then we had this thing called the laser loop where, like, you start in a station in the middle, and you, at the speed of light, you go forward through a loop, and then up to like a top spire thing, and then you cap out, and then you drop backwards through that same loop, go backwards through the station at 1,000,000 miles an hour, backwards through another loop to another spire, and then forwards through that loop again back to the station. It was so cool.
Oh, let me find you your new favorite roller coaster then. Allow me to paint the...
Because the laser loop was dismantled in like 94. I can never ride it again.
I think it's called the Fire Starter or something. It's fire-themed.
Yeah.
You are a fire truck. and you start up, you tick, 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 tick,
Yes.
you're starting off, and then you go up and you go down your first big drop, and you're like, this is awesome, and you do some inversions, you might do a loop-de-loop, and then, what do you go into? You go into an old fireworks factory, and what happens? The hillbilly's in there, and he just started a fire. You got to put out the fire. But this roller coaster, you go into the fireworks factory, there's a big 3-alarm blaze, you put out the fire, and then the roller coaster to shoot you out backwards. It explodes and shoots you out of the fireworks factory backwards.
As the thing is exploding, you get shot out.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
like it.
Pretty good.
How hot was it when you were there?
Florida hot, like
Okay.
pass out hot, like 100, feels like 105. Like, but they have more misting fans than I've seen at any other park. Now, I don't know, I haven't been to the theme parks in a minute, but I don't know if we've added a bunch of those here now because it's a lot hotter. But Dollywood, and Will from Will's Pub even commented, he's like, they do it right. They've got shade. He commented on my Instagram. He's right. They had lots of shade, lots of umbrellas, lots of misting things, lots of those things that pool canopies, like stretched out.
Yeah.
I don't understand why every new place we build here in Florida, we don't put shade.
Yeah.
We cut down all the trees, and then we build something on concrete, and then just let
She
people
did
bake.
another
They
clever
want
thing.
you inside spending money. You understand?
No.
That's just like,
You got to walk from place to place. Most of the park is outside.
don't put windows in a casino. You don't want anybody to know
I mean, he's not
what
wrong. I
day
mean, that
it
is-
is and what
that
time
is-
it
that
is.
is why they do it.
I would stay longer at a park and
Me
spend
too.
more money if there was shade and if there was a comfortable place for me to sit and enjoy my popcorn or my beer.
I think that's what she's trying to do. No beer in the park. It is an alcohol-free park, so sorry, you're going to have to find soda.
I don't
But-
want you spending all day. I want you in and out to make room for more people spending more money.
I like your greed. Another
That's
thing
what
she
it's about.
would do that I thought was pretty clever is like she was doing this like festival of roadside attractions or festival of summer, is that she would do a lot of installations in the trees that would be big and flowy, that, like, let's say, for instance, near the trees, she would put, like, let's say 50 gigantic Dolly Parton butterflies. More sunshade. You know, like, they were really clever in the way that they would hide things in the trees to give you more natural shade. I don't know why we don't do, I mean, it kind of makes Imagineers look lame if they can't even figure out shade. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to, unless it's more, I bet you Tom's right on this one. They don't want you, they want you in and out, spend the maximum amount of money, go back to your hotel.
Yeah. I want you to spend $500 to get in and leave at noon because it's too hot and there's no shade
Yeah,
anywhere.
and then go buy beers at the hotel bar.
So I could herd the rest of the cattle in there so they can leave too and
You're
just
probably
give me money.
right. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is pretty terrible.
Take out all this shade. I want them sweating.
They have this.
That's where the money is.
They have a grist mill where they make this world famous cinnamon bread. And
What are we doing? Why don't we live in Pigeon Forge?
It's
This
awesome.
sounds like heaven
the
on earth.
cinnamon bread is really good. We got a loaf of cinnamon
It
bread.
can't be that good, Ross.
You eat the whole bread. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, it's delicious.
Yakov Smirnoff personally moved there. It's the best, right? Because he famously came from Russia to America where things are better or at least different than Russia, and he points that out. And then he picks Pigeon Forge. It's the best place in America.
Well, he's comparing it to Russia. I'm pretty sure really any place is better.
It's Wild Eagle. Sorry, Wild Eagle, not Big Eagle. Although I think Big Eagle would be a cool name for it. But Wild
I
Eagle.
found it when I looked it up.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Go look up Wild Eagle. But yeah, Maisie and Andrea, they rode all the coasters. I only did like 2 or 3. And then little baby got sick. So I was like, well, I'll just wait. I'll just wait for you guys to get done.
It didn't bother you because Max likes it, like roller coasters, anything, like even that giant swing we did. And I told Max, like, I'll go on anything, anytime with you forever, no matter how dangerous it is. I'll never not go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can't ever have him like, hey, I want to go on this thing, and be like, I don't know.
Oh,
I
if
can't-
Andrea didn't want to go, yeah, I would have gone. I'll power
Yeah.
through it. But no,
Yeah.
Andrea's like, I'll go. I'll do it. Because Andrea likes those rides too. All 3 of us are going to ride anyways. So, I mean, it was going to be all 3 of us. But, they did get on multiple rides. And these coasters are really fast. And a couple of them that they were in line. And I'm proud of her for this. They would break down. And then they'd have to do the thing where, and I figured it out while watching the coaster, is that when it breaks down or throws a code, they have to send out the train one time without anybody,
Yeah.
one time with a person in the front, one
an
time with a
employee.
person in the employee,
Yeah.
and one time with an employee in the back.
Yeah.
They do it 3 times. At least at Dollywood they do.
Yeah.
So I started seeing this, and Maisie's in line, and they text me. They're like, "Oh, we're almost to the front," and they see the coaster go down, and then they run it without somebody, an employee in the front, and then they run it with an employee in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there like kind of just doing the math in my brain, and I'm like, if this had been little Dan Lee up there, and I had found out that it broke down, and then now they're gonna test it to make sure I'm gonna be safe, I don't think I would have gotten on. I'm just doing the math for me, like little me, but I'm proud of her for like, they're
Hilarious.
testing it. It's fine. I'm gonna write
Yeah.
it. I'm glad that maybe I watered down my anxiety just a little bit.
I wonder what the person in the front and the person in the back does.
Well, when I used to work
Well,
at
if they died, you'd know not to run it again.
Well, you're. Yeah.
when I used to work at Jurassic Park, I would train people on our ride sometimes, and that's like a lot of walking around, and you're kind of free floating for a lot of it. You don't have a specific assigned duty. You're just like showing them the whole park and giving them a feel for it, and then showing them their duties and stuff. So you can kind of walk around. And then on the radio every once in a while, especially for Hulk would break down a lot, and then the call would come over the radio.
Too many
like,
parts. They took out the propulsion system at Dollywood because it broke down too much.
So call would come over the radio like, "Hey, Hulk broke down. If anybody's available, we need an employee to come test ride it before we can people back in." And if I was training, I'd be like, "Hey, come on!" And we'd run to the Hulk, and because you could just I'd walk right up to the platform. I'd be like, "We're here," and they'd put you right in the front of the Hulk coaster and run you around privately on it, and then they'd be like, "All right, safe for real people," and then they'd start loading it back up again.
So
it was
you're
always my favorite
risk-
call.
They risk the employees?
Yeah. Well, you're
I
also
think-
getting paid for it. So.
I think it's just a case of they know it's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fine. They're they wouldn't put anybody on it if they didn't have absolute confidence in it was going to work. But they just wanted somebody that they pay to go through so they can say we made sure it was safe for real people.
Yeah, I think it's a formality. Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah.
But God, it was always a great call. I'd be like, come on, we're gonna ride the whole coaster. Get
But
paid for it.
if you like roller coasters, go. If you do not like roller coasters, there's plenty of other stuff to do. But there are some coasters there that will literally scare you. It will make you. There were so many crying children off of those coasters.
Yeah.
Because dads will do this move where they're because they have some ones that are fitted for the little guys that are adventurous. Because we have that. But so many dads forcing these. Kids on the and screaming, crying, just crazy crying.
There was one at Kennywood called the Thunderbolt, and it had a famous stretch that always smelled like vomit because somebody would always puke there on that one particular stretch of it.
I saw a blogger. I saw a famous roller coaster blogger that I've seen on YouTube walking around there doing selfie. He's like, "Hey, I'm here at Dollywood getting ready to go up there on the Thunderhead." I'm like, "Oh, I know you from YouTube." I was like, "I've never seen that before."
funny.
I wonder
it's
what
pretty cool.
the stats
Great park.
are on forcing your kid to ride a roller coaster, even though they don't want to go. If that actually does work and make them like
No.
roller coasters,
No,
because I
think
feel
it makes
like
them hate you.
I feel like it doesn't.
Makes you hate your dad. What are the stats
so-
on that? Roll the numbers on I hate my dad.
Because I feel like that's an urban legend, throwing your kid in
Into
the
a
pool
pool,
to
yeah.
teach him how to
Thing.
swim. Like forcing your kid to go on roller coasters. It doesn't seem. I don't know though, but it doesn't seem
No, I
like
think you're
it'll
right.
work
How
as
could
much
you-
as people do it.
In this day and age, how could you even do it?
Go
the
to
kid starts
Dollywood.
crying.
It doesn't work.
Nobody's gonna buckle a crying kid into a roller
Yeah,
coaster in
yeah.
2025.
No, they
so-
were all so upset because one of them was on the one that did me in, right? The one where it does the super loop into the
Yeah.
inversion and it kicks you to the side real fast. And I could feel my brain
Yeah.
and then we got out of that and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. That was the one that was approved for little bodies. So it doesn't mean that it's not intense. It just means that we can put a smaller human on here and they're not going to fly out. And there were so many little kids on that because it is built. I think it was engineered in Europe, in Sweden or one of those countries that are known for shipbuilding because they build a lot of coasters. And it was made to be intense for smaller kids. And it was too intense for these kids. It was blowing their minds, and they were all crying. All of them were crying.
Universal used to have two. The one in the cartoon land, I forget what it was some cartoon theme, Fievel Moskowitz or something. That was their kids, and then they had one called The Last Unicorn that I think Harry Potter Land has taken over now, and it was for kids, but it was a great little ride. It was a nice little coaster.
Did you drive there straight to Tennessee?
We did, yeah. We drove there. Yeah, we drove
What is that?
straight. It's 9 to 10 hours.
Okay.
And I'm taking a lot of heat for this on the VDM page, but me and Maisie have utilized urinal bags Andrea refuses to be in our club, but Maisie and I will use urinal bags so we only have to stop for gas, so we can just burn on down the highway.
So they're for male
Well, you can
and
go to the
female
bathroom while you stop at the gas station.
You can't because we don't want to do any extra stops. So if somebody, after we got gas, notoriously, right? You get gas. I got poop now. Like, well, you just peed. Sorry, we have a one stop. We're getting gas. You can pee then. If not, you're getting a urinal bag. So me and Maisie had to pee, and we're going down the road. I'm like, how much gas we got? It was Andrea's turn to drive. We got 280 miles. I was like, we got to pee in bags. We can't be stopped. We got 280 miles. I'm not stopping and topping off the time. I'm not losing 20 minutes for a pee.
You were out of Gatorade bottles?
You know what? These urinal bags have the gels in the bottom and they absorb so you don't get any mess. And it has a Ziploc on the top. And it has a funnel for boys. And if you flip it around, it has a cup for girls.
Whoa.
Amazing. They're called Ooh Wee.
Really
if you're
thought
looking
this
for
up.
them on Amazon, it's Ooh Wee with a U.
I'm looking for them in this room. I got to go.
Yeah, you want one? Oh, I forgot to bring them. We're going to pee on the show today.
Yeah.
They make a shiwi.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Except
You can put
Crystal,
it in your jeans.
If you don't stop cursing on this show, I'm...
but
you could pull the front out of your jeans.
Yeah, and
zipper.
Maisie, and I know before I take the heat, everybody's like, you're a disgusting animal. Hey, me and Maisie love it. We laugh and we laugh. We turn the country music up and we pee on down the highway. Let's get this 18-wheeler moving. We're calling a crosswind. Woo! Let's go. Put the hammer down.
Are you sitting shotgun and Maisie's in the back, right?
Yeah, normally with the dog, because Dansby's with us. Normally I drive, though. I like driving. So,
Yeah.
And I like driving Andrea's car. It's big. I'll sit there and drive, pretend I'm a trucker, and be like, hand me a pee bag, baby. Let's go. I love it. It's so fun.
And then what you just put the bag in because it turns to like the magician gel,
It's
right?
magician gel, yeah. So you just put it in. You know that useless side cup holder that nobody uses?
Yeah.
That's near your speaker? That, a lot of people don't know this, but that was made for pee bags. That's what that's for. The reason
And McDonald's receipts.
Yeah, and McDonald's. And the reason it doesn't work for like a soda or anything is because it was made for an ooh-wee pee bag. So
You want to hear a trucker story?
please.
I delivered some fireworks out to Eustis, and I'm driving the truck back to Longwood warehouse to load up, and the Longwood I-4 exit, I get off, and there's a guy begging there, like got a little sign out and whatever, and he gives me the old trucker horn honk thing, right? Because I'm driving a big panel truck, but it doesn't have
It's
that.
a little off-brand, but okay.
It doesn't have that. Yeah, well, you
Yeah,
gotta
he's
pass
trying,
the time somehow,
yeah,
I
I get
guess.
it,
And
yeah.
so when trucks come by, he asks them to honk. So he gave me like the, pull down a overhead horn handle symbol that you do to a trucker to get them to honk their horn. And I don't have one of those. So I gave my little actual horn a honk, honk. And he went patooey. He like gave me the
Oh, he gave you the phooey?
He gave me the two-hand buzz off. Yeah. I disappointed an old beggar with my horn.
That's fantastic. Here's a question I have for road trippers. Why is every big 18-wheeler, cargo carrier, the license plate on the back of it, all of them, and if they're FedEx, if they're you name them, they're all from Indiana, every single one. Why?
Center of the country?
Is the biggest hub there, or all?
Well, remember Gary, Indiana was the huge truck hub center of the trucking industry, supposedly.
We
Remember
didn't see. Maisie and I tried because you gotta have something to do while you're peeing in bags, and we going and coming, we did not see one 18-wheeler that was not licensed out of Indiana. Not even one. We kept. It was like the game. We're like first one to find it wins $10.
It may be a hub like Atlanta Airport is for truckers, something like that.
The trailers are registered different than the tractors, though.
Yeah.
Right.
The trailers are probably, I don't know if they're all from one place.
I
but
just
the
find
tractors
it
are owned
odd
and
that they're
registered.
all out of one spot.
Yeah.
Like, that is so weird to me.
I think maybe that's where you're picking up where the hub is, where they ship it. I don't know, something like that. It's got to be like because remember Gary, Indiana was a huge trucking.
You're right.
Stop. That's where when
Our buddy Justin.
Is there a train station there? Like, was there cargo coming in at
There
the
might
train
be a
or
giant
a port
hub.
of
Yeah, a
some
port,
kind?
yeah.
All right. Well,
We still haven't gotten an answer about those little things they started putting underneath every truck. The little
Oh, the ventilation things, or
whatever they are,
Yeah.
they started appearing about like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and
I
they're
think
on.
it's for air.
I know you think it's for that, but like you can't get an answer anywhere about what they're really for. Is it for aerodynamics? Is it to protect equipment? They're on every truck, but nobody has an answer for what they are.
Interesting. I always assumed it was to like to keep road debris out of the axle.
And then half people say that, half people say aerodynamics, but there's no official answer. I don't know.
You know what I want the answer to be?
Have you looked it up on the internet?
You know what?
Even if you Google it, there's no real answer to it.
You know what I want the answer to be? Fashion. That's what I want. If they say,
like
if it just says one word, fashion, I'll be like, all right.
It's like the modern version of mud flaps with like a naked lady silhouette on it.
Yeah. Moon eyes, hubcaps.
It's got to be fuel efficiency of some sort. Yeah, because
now
it's
you've done it. He's gonna be talking about this all day, Ross.
Okay,
I'm
great.
betting fuel efficiency.
Well, you say that, and then she says for road debris, and then nobody has a real answer.
I'm on for fashion. Put me down for fashion.
I love Paris truck fashion.
Maybe it is a mud flap type to keep the, the mud
Yes.
off the axle parts. I don't know what it's called.
Hey,
over
don't
there.
get no mud on your
All
axle
the-
parts. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably harder to clean all those pipes and doodads under there.
You got mud on your axle there, boy.
All right, well, let's take a break. When we come back, I'll tell you guys about the Swedish trip.
Yeah.
And
by
I'm sure
fireworks.
it's just like Pigeon Forge.
I want fireworks.com.
Yeah, there you go. I want fireworks.com.
Yeah. And we'll be right back.
Awesome.
Just grab a bag.
Yeah. Oh my God. One time we, I don't know why we had it. Maybe it was a magician gel type thing. It was an old rental house we had, but for whatever reason we had that gel,
Yeah.
and we just poured it down the sink, and then
It
it
clogged your sink? What
yeah,
is it?
of course. And then it like, I don't know. Maybe we did it in the sink. We like put it in there. We're like, oh cool, look, and then we were like, oh shit, that's not good.
I like that.
That's
It's expanding a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
We
That's the kind of shit where your landlord comes in and is like, what the f?
yeah, like
Yeah, like when I
we didn't think about the end.
I threw a lit M80 in the garage sink of my rental house.
Yeah.
And it blew the sink apart. Like it blew the whole fucking sink apart.
It's just you don't.
But
think,
why did I do that? Because I was like, it's like better than there than anywhere else.
well, it's water. Maybe you thought it would go out or something.
I don't know.
We got this thing this year called Half Stick. And
Yes, you were saying it.
Craig has a video he took of just lighting one, boom, it's pretty impressive. And then his daughter his stepdaughter just bought a property out in Eustis, and they went out there.
What? How old is she now?
So she had a bunch of college money saved up, and then she got a full ride scholarship, so she used that to buy a house.
Wow, good
Yeah.
for her.
But Craig went out there and he put one of these half sticks under a 5-gallon bucket and took a video of it, and it just disintegrates the bucket.
Oh my
It's
God.
fucking crazy.
All right, got it. Oh, Maisie laughs and laughs, peeing in the bag, and then she's like, "Daddy, I got a system on how to do it perfectly." Okay, babe. Whatever you like. Oh, registration is cheaper. That would make sense. Companies are going to go with what's the most cost effective, especially if you have 10,000 trailers.
Yeah.
10,000 trailers registrations, you add that up. And oh, I have something else I want to mention to you guys, too. That's funny. Have you used the Merlin Bird app?
No, I've heard about it though.
You need to get that.
Is it the listen for the chirps? And
I used it the whole time I was there because I had so much time to kill, and I probably found 40 different birds. And the best part about it is you can use your speaker if you have a decent one, and it'll play chirps back. So I would turn it up as loud as it would go, and I would chirp back to the birds, and they would fucking come and visit me.
You're kidding?
No, I'm not.
Oh my god.
You got to do it.
Oh.
That's
That's
how
interesting.
that video of Dansby, I don't know if you saw where he's got that bird friend, and that's a little
I
Tennessee.
didn't see that one.
It's on Instagram. There's a little Tennessee songbird. It's about this big. It's just a little brown bird, but they have the prettiest little. They're like, they sing. It's beautiful. And so I found him, and then I started using the chirp at like the loudest setting.
To attract.
And then they started coming, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm a goddamn bird man.
That's
like,
so fun.
it's neat. Yeah. Shout out to Kara for finding that and telling me to use it. It's great.
Merlin?
Yeah,
Merlin app?
it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking
cool.
great,
Yeah.
and it's free, which is like I'm like, well, how is that free? That's a lot of bandwidth I'm using.
They made a bunch of college kids code it.
Yeah, probably right. All right.
She lost like 30 strands of hair in this thing.
Oh, they ripped your hair out?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't even feel it.
That's how
Is
it
that
started with Jeff Ross.
Stop it.
He's got alopecia.
Does he?
Yeah, that's why all his hair. That's why he's bald.
It's not
He
just
talks
male
about it on-
pattern baldness?
No, he talks about it on Howard Stern. He has no hair on his complete body, except for right now he has half a mustache because he's like sometimes it'll just start
His
growing. and
eyebrows
weird.
are gone?
Yeah, everything. He's just a he's a
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
He-
yeah.
no,
I never know
I never
that.
knew it either.
Year than
He's
last.
watch him on
Yeah.
Howard Stern. I'm still.
He
I'm
got
the old man.
cancer too, right?
I still watch Howard Stern. Yeah, I still go back and watch Howard Stern. It's still funny to me. And then I'll go like every afternoon before I go to bed. I watch Beetlejuice. That's how I have to go to sleep.
You know what I've been watching to fall asleep lately?
What's that?
Prime does like live TV, quote unquote live TV, where they just play a show that you can't pause or anything, and they have an American Gladiators channel.
No, really.
God,
Oh,
it's
that's
so
fun.
fucking
Oh, they have a
good.
lot of weird channels now. There's
So
a
fucking good.
Portlandia channel.
Yeah, I
American
watch that a
Gladiators
lot, yeah.
channel.
Have you seen the
Bob's
American
Burgers has a channel.
American Gladiators documentary?
I didn't, but I listened to that guy be interviewed, the guy that started
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
listened to like a really long interview with that guy. Yeah.
It's pretty interesting
Yeah.
because it was flim flam
Oh,
like
and that's so obvious when you watch it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
so fucking sketchy. And my favorite part is like a quarter of the show is like shooting a guy with a tennis ball or whatever, and then 3/4 of it is a guy who can't interviewing somebody who is terrible at being interviewed.
yeah,
It is like so
Hold
fucking.
on,
So-
sign me up for that.
It's so
you
Dan,
know I like that.
Go back.
You know what I like.
none of
It's
it
so
worked.
good.
None of the equipment
Speaking my
worked. It
language.
was all super dangerous and shit.
All the refs are making like terrible calls
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
constantly having to reverse dumb calls.
Because
and
weren't
they
the
make-
refs the guys that were like just under them? They couldn't make it.
Oh, and I watched one last night where this gladiator basically broke this guy's neck, and they're like, it's all in good fun. And then they made them like shake hands after. Oh my god.
All right, you want to start this
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah.
There we go. Coming back. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So we'll start off with the flight out to Sweden. So
If you don't mind, let's just remember to refresh Crystal's mind. You can't curse on this show, Crystal. You gotta watch your
Okay.
mouth.
Yeah. She's in vacation
In
mode,
this
man.
part of the story, I would definitely be cursing.
Yeah,
So
she's
I need
still
a
got-
reminder.
She's still got one foot in the fjord. You know what I
It's
mean?
true,
Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
yeah. So
Yeah, and Swedish radio, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if you can. I would imagine that their regulatory is more than ours. Most European countries are.
so I'm trying to
Don't
you
they
know
have,
because
like nude weather?
listening to Daniel's trip, it got me to think. Why do these things happen to the vans? Or, like, why does chaos? You know, we talk about the orb of chaos, and obviously,
You guys are
I
more
don't believe,
open to it naturally, right? It's like people that are more open to believing in God will see more things that they think are God. You guys are more open to adventure, so I think that the adventure finds you more like easily because you're more open to it, right? You're more open to the go with the flow kind of adventure style.
Yeah, but driving nonstop to Tennessee,
It's
urinating in bags.
That's easy.
It's
It's very trashy hillbilly. It's a hillbilly. It's not Sweden. I'll
yeah,
tell
but
you that.
but something bad may happen, and you know what I'm saying, some sort of chaos. Some
Right, like the pee bag didn't break open at the bottom. You're telling me that it worked fine.
It worked fine.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
Yeah, very little traffic. Drove right in. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. How?
I would bet though that your wife has everything so meticulously
Yeah.
planned out that even if a pee bag like exploded in
Who
the
do you
car,
think found the pee bags?
she would
Me and
be
Maisie
like,
didn't find the pee bag.
she would be like,
Ready?
"Here's my
Yeah.
exploding pee bag kit. Let's
Yes.
clean it up."
Yeah,
Right,
you're
right,
you're
Ross.
exactly
I didn't
right.
have the time for that.
You're exactly
Prepare
right.
for
Like, by the way, I've been villainized on the BDM Facebook page for these pee bags, and I just let the record reflect that I have never purchased a pee bag in my life, nor have I ever Googled anything about pee bags. The pee bags were gifted to me by my loving wife. I would be an a-hole husband to not pee in the bag she purchased for me.
But if she gave you a gun and you killed a guy, it's not her fault. You know, you're peeing in the bag.
I am peeing in the bag. I am.
So anyway, Crystal plans out all these trips. So kudos to my wife, because without
Wait a
Crystal,
minute. What does kudos mean?
This trip that you're about to describe going horribly wrong.
no,
Gripes?
not
Are we on
everything.
gripes? What are we doing here? Nobody's says kudos, by the way.
You gotta try stuff.
Hold on, kudos is BS.
Hold
Nobody, especially this guy, nobody says,
I
hey.
do deserve more than a
Yeah,
kudos.
that's right under a for she's a jolly good fellow.
Do you remember kudos bars?
I do.
Granola dipped in chocolate. That's a
Delicious.
great snack.
Delicious.
I would take a
And
kudos.
not at all healthy.
right now.
Not at all healthy.
No, that's how they pitched it.
So, in the way we had planned this out, we're flying JetBlue.
Now we planned it.
Do you?
That's how he does
Well,
it.
I did
That's how he
ask-
does it.
I did tell him about this, and I only did it this way because the flight from Orlando to Stockholm was like $1,800 a person. But if I
Holy
used
smokes.
mileage to get us from here to New York for free, then it was like half the price.
Okay.
So
So,
you save
it
like
was a lot.
$2,500.
It wasn't a little bit of savings.
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
a lot of
Yeah,
savings.
half of $5,000.
It was like $3,200.
Oh,
Dang.
There's something
that's
like
a lot.
that.
That's a lot of
It
money.
was a lot.
What's it going to cost us in time, though? How much extra time is this adding?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not a lot of extra time. But
6 hours.
no.
Well, 3 hours to New York, 3 hours layover.
What did you think we were going to get a direct from Orlando to Stockholm?
No,
We're
I
still
guess-
going to
yeah,
New
yeah,
York.
yeah.
We were just going to go on Delta to New
What
York
would have
instead of
direct to
JetBlue.
Oh, yeah,
Stockholm
yeah, yeah.
been?
There isn't one from here.
So you would have had to go.
You still have to
Atlanta,
go to New York.
right?
Or
yeah,
Miami. So we either drive 4 hours to
Interesting.
Miami or we fly 3 hours to New York.
Okay, so time's a
Same-
wash. You
time's
save
a
the
wash.
money. Yeah.
You save the money.
I love the saving of money.
The only difference is we flew up on JetBlue and then we're going to Stockholm on Delta.
Okay.
So
I don't see a problem with that.
No.
the only problem
If you
is
explain this to me, I'm playing the role of your husband,
when
and
you,
I'm way less rational than this guy. I go crazy.
when you transfer airlines, you also transfer terminals. So when we got to New York on JetBlue, we would have to go get the bag that I checked from JetBlue's carousel, take it back to check-in on Delta on Terminal 4,
Go
and
through
then
the security
go through
again.
security again. We would have had to go through security anyway because we're going now international, and you have to go through security again. So that was the same. Anyways, I had a 3.5 hour layover, so that is like more than enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking we were gonna go get a Minute Suites and lay down for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But that was not the case.
Yeah, go get some time to chill, you
yeah.
know, like sponge your armpits, you know, splash
Yeah.
some water in your face.
I was worried about how long the layover was going to be because I'm like, well, the next flight's 8.5 hours after a 3-hour flight. I don't want a super long layover, but I wanted to
Yeah.
be safe, so I planned it for the 3.5 hour layover.
Love it.
So the checking a bag also added some risk to this. Even though there was such a long layover in New York, we were like, it'll be fine. I mean, we have plenty of time to even get the check bag.
I mean, 3 hours to get a checked bag is more than enough time.
Yeah, and all this. So
I still don't
And
see
we
a
have
problem
TSA
here.
pre-check too, so I wasn't worried about the
You
security
got
line.
clear still,
No, we have TSA pre-check now.
which is even better,
It's
right?
the same, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really.
So we wake up Thursday, and that was our fly day, and we're not flying out or leaving the house until noon. So it's not waking up like super early like we're used to. And so we wake up, we're chilling, we're like, this is gonna be, it's long, it's gonna be all day, and we're gonna show up there in the morning.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
After traveling all day, so that's rough, but whatever. And so then Crystal gets a message from JetBlue saying our flight is delayed. And so we're like, okay, that's fine. We have 3.5 hours of layover.
We got 3.5 hours. Eat it away,
buffer
JetBlue.
time. Yeah,
Come
buffer.
get us. Is that all you got?
Get
Yeah.
some,
Oh, yeah.
some
Is that all
buffer
you got?
time.
You got an hour delay? Bring it, JetBlue.
So, and
Bitch.
when flights are delayed, because we're used to flying, and they get delayed sometimes, but there's also a there's a tell that there's something more than just a small delay, and that's when it keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah.
30
Right.
minutes at a time.
30 minutes at a time, and that
They
means
call it a rolling delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a
That-
rolling delay in the Dominican Republic that was horrible. It just kept.
Yeah.
It was never ending.
Yeah. So
That
we
just
kept,
means they know it's going to be 3 hours and they don't want to tell you.
Yes,
guys.
that's
all.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
That's all.
So when we're at home and I got the second delay alert, I was like, okay, this is going to be bad. Let's change course. Let's get 2 carry-ons and get rid of this big bag. and put everything in carry-on so we don't have to worry. Just in case we're crunched on time,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about checking the
You
bag.
have your gear. Yeah.
TC's like, nah, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Just,
Hold on,
let's
do I
just
need the
stay
gripes
the
music
course.
for you? This is good. Hold on, let me put the camera back on you. Hold on. Put the camera back on you.
I get bit in the ass by it's fine mentality a lot. This is one
well,
of them.
why don't you
Important
just
thing is
call
that
it
you
what it
learn
is?
nothing.
It's a bad decision. If your wife is doing 2 carry-ons, why ditch it? She's got a great
Hey,
idea.
but if 90% of the time it's fine, I'm still winning. You see
You're
what I'm
still
saying?
boned 10% of the time. Yeah.
But this gives you an out. The beauty in this, the reason I'm so pro what Crystal's choosing, is that if that happens, great, we've prepared. If it doesn't happen, we still have our stuff.
Right.
That's a win-win. There's no way to
Right.
lose on that side.
And in this
so you
case,
just do that side.
For sure.
See, to me, that's logic.
Yeah.
Is choosing the side that cannot lose.
we decided together, and I'll say that we decided together because we actually did not have 2 extra carry-ons, so I was going to borrow my mom's, and they were covered in cat hair and bird dust.
That's okay.
And so
Bird dust is fine.
I was like, I don't want to be traveling with
you
these
love bird
allergy
dust. You're fine.
things all day. So I'm like, all right, we're going with the big bag. Let's just see what happens. So we
So you
get.
let him win.
Well, we both. I hate to
You're
admit,
such a
we
nice-
both
you're a nice
decided
woman.
to stay with the big bag.
So, but we still have plenty of time when we get to the Orlando airport, and it still looks like it's not delayed that much. But when we get to the airport, then it's the rolling delays
keeps
more.
coming.
It keeps coming.
Sitting at the gate, it's coming. It's
Yeah.
getting more.
More
Now we're
and
like 4 hours. We're sitting there.
Question: do you guys tell the boys what's happening? Do they
100%.
ask? Okay.
I told them because while we were sitting there, we kind of decided that somebody's not making the New York to Stockholm flight, and it was going to be me. And so I did want to prepare them for that.
But they are pretty chill. Like
Yeah.
they're not. They don't freak out about
Oh
much.
yeah, I
They're
don't
like,
think they're
"All
gonna
right."
freak out, but I wonder
They're
because
there.
some parents don't say a word. I think I have to. May's gonna ask, so I have to.
Yeah, my kids don't even ask. I just tell them, and then they don't remember. So
Yeah.
you know, it's for me.
I like that.
And then every 10 minutes they're like, "Where?
What are we doing?
They're like, "Where am I?"
Have we been on a plane yet?
And then they ask me, I'm like, "I don't know. Ask the lady. She knows everything.
Maisie says it.
We're just along for the ride."
The day after she won, Maisie turns to me and says, "Is Tennessee a state?" And I look at Crystal, I look at Andrea, and I go, "She's got sports." You know what I mean? Like, thank God she's got sports. Holy smokes, you're dumb.
I
What
don't
are
know
you
what the
doing?
hell's going on. I'm drunk and high right now. Anyway, so it's getting delayed. Then we get on to the airplane in Orlando, JetBlue, to fly to New York. And on the flight there, me and Crystal are looking at the time, and we're like, this is going to be real tight. Like, to the point where Crystal was asking the flight attendant, like, "Hey, can you let me out of this plane first? Because we have 1 hour, like, give or take, to get out of this plane, go get the check bags, get into security again, back, and and then
And
get
take
on
a train to another terminal.
Yeah.
take the
It
air
was basically
train
impossible what we were.
in JFK. Yeah.
I like that.
So we figured that, like,
This
okay.
reminds me of the show Locked Up Abroad.
So
It was so much anxiety from the minute that we had like the third delay. I'm like, okay, the time now is not working out. You have to have your bag checked 1 hour before departure on an international flight, and we were at like an hour 20 minutes. So I'm like, somehow our bag has to get out of this airplane and over to the carousel, and I have to be there to meet it at the 10-minute mark to run to the other term. It was like not going to happen. But my mom kept saying, and she always has said throughout, because we always flew standby, so she'd always say, just keep moving. So she was like, just keep moving. So I just kept on
Is
moving.
your mom Dory from Finding Nemo?
No. But she would just say, like, don't give up because then you're not going to make it. So
Yeah.
just
She's
keep.
horrible to work for. I've been working for Crystal's mom. She's so mean. It's
Keep
like
moving.
Ellen, just like Ellen.
Oh my God. So I got off. I was first to deplane. We were in the second to last row, and I darted my ass to the front. Excuse me.
You can say ass.
my-
You can say ass. It's
to the
fine.
front of the plane, and I got out of the plane first, and I ran through the terminal to the carousel.
I hope you were screaming help.
No, I was screaming, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry."
Yeah. You're being polite.
And then when I got there, I waited for 35 minutes for the carousel to start moving.
Yeah.
So I already saw TC and the boys pass me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make it. We already had passed the 1 hour mark to check the bag.
Oh, my God.
And for the video of this part, you're going to want that O.J. Simpson running through the airport, but with Crystal's face on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I pass Crystal with the boys, and then we get the far as hell because in JFK, like every terminal, is a big, giant.
It's a monstrosity.
So I get on the air train, travel from Terminal 4 to Terminal 5 or whatever, and then get in Terminal 5, then finally get to Terminal 5's security, long-ass line of security, and then, like, Crystal's like, the carousel hasn't even started. And so I tell the boys, I'm like, we're going to Sweden without Mom, and she'll just come tomorrow.
And she's not your mom anymore.
And
We're
then
going to start a new life.
Why'd she go to the fair to ride the carousel? She doesn't have time for that.
And then, by the way,
She turned her back on us, guys, and we're going to Sweden alone. Your mother's staying here.
Now, she did get to ride the cool tiger, but she should not be riding that carousel right now.
Now, I
Your
didn't tell
mother's drunk at the Outback Express, if you really want to know what's happening.
No,
She had too many bloomin' onion.
They probably got one of those Gordon Ramsay airport ones now.
I didn't tell Crystal this, but at this time, I'm panicked because I'm like, I didn't pay attention to any of the
Yeah,
plans.
you don't know what to do. You get to Sweden, you get out, you're like, oh my God, what do we do?
No, I knew. I was like, I already knew I was gonna. When he was in the air, I would take that time to send him an itinerary.
He can't
and
read. You're gonna have to
instructions,
voice text it.
And I was gonna change the car rental to his name from my name. So I had a plan of how I was gonna do
But
all
look, we finally found a thing that makes Tom experience emotion.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Did you go through pre-check, by the way, or did you go the regular security?
No,
line?
I went through pre-check,
Okay.
and so we get through security, and all
Pull
of
the
a
record on that. He may not have gone through pre-check. He may have gone through regular security.
And by the
He's
way-
quick on the secondary lies. Really good at it.
when I'm standing in security line and I'm looking at and we only have 15 minutes to get to the gate. There's a long, even in pre-check, long ass security line.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, we may not even make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm texting Crystal. I'm like, we may not even make it. And then if we don't make it, we're out the entire flight.
Right, because Delta doesn't care if JetBlue had a delay.
Right.
So that's if I had been on Delta the whole time, I could have said, you guys were delayed getting me here. I missed this. You have to rebook me.
That's why the chat room was saying how risky this is. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
use different airlines, it can be risky because they don't
yeah.
play
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I love risk.
I know you do. look how
but
happy
again,
he
Except
is.
for the game.
It
Hate
was
the
a
game.
$3,500
Boring.
savings. Like
That's a lot
it
of money.
was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But then I'm like, oh my
Also,
God.
you're getting the worst case scenario. I want to reiterate that like the 3.5 hour delay to anybody else sounds like a reasonable amount. To me, it does. Like I would have been like, oh, it's gonna be, yeah, I'll be fine.
So
The layover, you mean?
Well, the fact that you had 3.5 hours to go and get your bag before everything started getting
Right.
pushed
It was
back.
it was enough. It
I
was
would have
more than
opted
enough.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
If Andrea tells me like, hey, we've got 3-hour layover to get our bag and then we're gonna jump airlines, I'm not thinking, oh, well, there's a risk there. I wouldn't have thought that.
yeah, except
way I
for
would've
a
thought that.
rolling
You
delay
can't,
that
you can't
No.
plan for the unknown.
Act of God.
So we get our the suitcases in security check-in or whatever, and then I'm like, man, we got 10 minutes to get there, and then all of a sudden our bag goes off to the side for extra security checks, so swab, and then I'm like, oh my God, the candles, because Crystal bought some candles.
Oh, that's right. They don't have candles in Sweden.
No, I
as
bought
gifts.
I went to Freehand Goods and I bought a bunch of Florida-style gifts for my cousins over there because I wanted to bring them some.
Here's some inferior candles.
The famous Florida candles.
No, I got them other stuff too, like hats and shirts
I
and
got
stuff.
you a Budweiser cat hat. And
I got them orange blossom candles.
These
'cause
candles
I
are
wanted
made
to
of
bring
alligator
a Florida
wax.
essence.
vibe, yeah.
Yeah, I brought a whole vibe.
that is very sweet of you.
But the gifts, the candles, like they get
kept
checked.
setting off the
Yeah,
security.
through the security bags, it's like and
It was
ha-
probably the oranges full of weevils, but the candles.
It happened in Orlando too, where they had to
candles, dog.
they swab them, they put them through the thing and make sure they're not bombs, and then they give them back to you. So all of a sudden, it gets put into a different conveyor, and then behind like 10 other bags.
Yeah, because
So-
they're checking a lot.
And these guys,
Oh, they
they
don't
know
give
we're
a
all
damn.
stressed and in a hurry. They're like taking their freaking time.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm dancing. I'm like, oh my God, like please hurry! And the guy is slow.
There's something
he does
about
not
them.
care.
Okay, look, I know people hate that. I know they do. But somewhere deep in my subconscious brain, when I see these guys and they're shuffling their feet slow, and girls, and you're going slow, and I know you don't care, I like it a little bit. There's a part of
It's
me.
a bullying.
Yeah, there's a part of me that I'm like,
Yeah, no, it's like a
yeah.
person who gets in their car in a parking spot and they know you're waiting for the spot, so they sit there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because they know you're waiting.
As much
so
as
they're
I,
like, huh, you're going to wait
as much as
long
I hate
as
as long
it,
as I'm ready.
Yeah.
They're
you know where I do
searching
it? You know
before-
where I catch myself doing it? Self-checkout. like as that receipt's coming, I'll take an extra 3 seconds to pick my receipt up and just I'll go slow.
So in the amount of time it takes the guy to go through all the bags, each one, he picks out the thing that needs to be swabbed, puts it in the machine, he's like, clear. But by the way, I'm like, have they found one bomb in these things in the entire, how long? Because think about how many times they swab it and it's always clear. 100% of the time. They probably
but
never
if they
found a
stop
bomb.
doing it, then people will start sending bombs
I
through
know.
again.
Yeah,
True.
but-
That'll be the first thing I do.
I don't even think that computer
It would be the first
works.
thing I do. If somebody said, "Hey, do you know they stopped swabbing stuff?" I'm like, "Bomb time, baby."
Anyway,
let's
How
do
many
it.
planes have exploded in midair?
So
They're at 100% success rate right now. All bombs have been caught.
Yeah, but anyway, so then I'm like, oh, then Crystal texts me. She's like, I'm in line. I see her on the other side of the
And I
security.
bought more candles.
No, my experience to get to that line, I couldn't believe
Oh,
TC
yeah.
was still in the line when I arrived because
Oh,
I
never
literally,
underestimate his speed. Slow.
I waited at the carousel. I deplaned at 4:36 p.m. and I had to be on the other plane at 5:44 p.m. Like I had a little 5 minutes more than an hour.
And there's no time to check the bag that Crystal got. See, you know, like,
yeah,
so
it's got to stay, I
So
guess,
I finally got the bag off the carousel after 35 minutes, and I just started running. And I knew I was already past the hour, but I thought I could find a cleaning person and ask them for trash bags because you can take whatever bag you want. It doesn't have
Correct.
to be a suitcase.
Correct.
So I'm like, I'll just ditch this suitcase and I'll put everything in 2 trash bags. Those will be my 2 carry-ons or whatever.
By the
love
way,
this.
Crystal told me, Crystal's like, Alex and my mom said, find a cleaning lady. And
I'm
put
naked and
everything
I'm
in-
carrying trash bags.
Put everything in
I
trash
took
bags.
all my clothes off. I'm in my bra and
was
panties.
crazy.
And I'm like, they're not going to let us take a trash bag carry-on.
People do.
I covered myself in vomit. They're going to let me on. I'm having 2 trash bags.
And they're like, my mom said people from Jamaica do. I don't know.
I love the idea of your Swedish cousins.
yeah, read them.
I arrive with a trash bag.
No, you meet your Swedish cousins and you go, hey, I got a present for you. You reach into a trash bag and pull out a candle.
We're on an international flight.
This is an authentic Jamaican Redum
I
condom.
like tried to put the
Just
trash
like-
bag into the overhead and it's all falling out.
And then your Swedish cousins are just like shaking their heads like
You gotta do-
Florida.
You know you're going to do that move where you shut it and it's poofing an air bubble, so you just stab it. You have to just stab it with your finger to get the air out of the bag.
Well, I got my bag and I started running, and there was a luggage store in the baggage claim. So I ran in there. I ran in there like I was on roller skates. I threw that bag on the floor and I grabbed.
y'all got trash can bags in here?
No, I grabbed 2 carry-ons and I was like, ring me up for these. Here's my watch. And I dinged the thing. The lady helped me move everything into the 2 bags. And I'm like, keep the suitcase. Goodbye.
Oh,
Boop.
she
And
helped you
I-
pack your luggage? Federal crime.
That is. Not supposed to do
I
that.
ran out of there and
You
I
could put a bomb in there.
She could have been working the luggage store just to plant a bomb.
Yeah,
You never
it
know.
was her lucky day. Like, you know, a
yeah.
lot of people probably no BS. I bet a lot of people come in there and like, I need luggage quick.
It
Why is
probably
there a luggage store there?
in the
That
baggage
very
claim
reason.
for the exact reason
Yeah.
because you have to switch terminals and now I don't have time to check my bag. So
Yeah.
so I go running with these 2 $300 worth of luggage, by the way,
Oh,
for
God.
these
You
2,
didn't have
and they're
to
not
go-
even like
you
that
didn't have
nice.
to go to me. Jeez Louise.
You're
I'm running-
still saving a little bit of money on the flight, right?
Well, if I make it.
Yeah.
But I was like, what if I don't make it? I have these
Right.
$300 worth of bags.
You could probably
So
take them back and get your trash bags
I
back.
could have, but I went up the escalator and I was in such a frenzy. I wanted to run up the escalator. So I was trying to put the arms down and one of them slipped out of my hand and went down the escalator, zink, 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 to the bottom. And it was just at the bottom going up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. And I'm
And
like
you watched
running
that
down.
for 15 minutes.
I'm running down the escalator while it's going up and the people all standing nearby on the elevator line are like, oh my God.
Well, the ones that aren't filming you on their
Oh my
phones. Yeah.
I'm waiting to see.
This is just like that boy WrestleMania.
It was awful. And then I ran, I got on the air train, I ended up in security, and I met up with TC somehow at security. I had peed my pants so bad that there was like literally pee all over my jeans.
Sorry, what?
I peed my pants like running. I was crying. I had to go to the bathroom and I didn't go.
You peed your pants.
It sounds like
I
Crystal
I
could
didn't
have
like
used.
pee the whole pee, but like when I run, sometimes it's a little,
Yeah.
And
When I
I
walk,
was
I
running
poop.
really fast.
Dan, what could Crystal have used to alleviate this pee situation?
You could have been carrying 2 trash bags and dressed like a California raisin, and then you could just pee whatever you want.
We made
I
it.
was thinking about a pee bag, but that's a good
Yeah,
solution
California
too.
raisin.
We made it with 1 minute to spare.
Yeah.
Like they literally.
They were holding the door like it was closing, and we ran up and we got on.
and they closed it in 15 minutes, like before, like the I guess
Before departure.
or whatever. there, and then we made it with 1 minute to spare, and I couldn't believe that Crystal made it. Like, it was ridiculous.
Well
but
done.
that was the start.
Well done.
That was the start of our vacation.
Yeah.
So,
That was day half.
we sat down and we're like, my heart's like,
Yeah,
I was just like, oh my God.
And then they gate checked our bags, right? So I have everything in carry-ons now, and she's like,
It smells like a
"Do
pee
you
in
have
here.
do you have a battery? Do you have any batteries in your bag?" And I'm like, I don't know. No, I don't think so. No. So she took our bags, and then while we sat down, I'm like, I think I do have one of those battery, like a lithium battery charger in there. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I tell them before we back out from the gate? And so I went up and asked my sister. And she was like, just don't worry about it.
I text Crystal. I'm like, value jet.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
this
oxygen canisters. Oxygen canisters. Oh, you blow your. Oh, my God. Obliterated in
I know.
seconds.
I'm like, imagine if that battery starts a fire and then we have to emergency land in Greenland or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like they have like oxygen things like fire suppression,
Yeah.
but it wets everybody's
But
luggage.
I'm like, why
And
are
they're
they
like,
Well,
taking
then
my
people
word
won't know
for it?
you. Then people won't know you peed your pants if everybody's covered in water.
and like, we found the culprit, Crystal Van.
Whose
Oh my
luggage
God.
is this?
I was nervous the whole flight. Like,
Raise your hand.
every little thing, I was like, is that my lithium battery in the cargo bay?
Stewardess, I'm not sure if I have a lithium battery in my bag because I didn't exactly pack it myself.
I had what I believe is I think an immigrant packed it at the luggage store.
A kind stranger here at the airport helped me pack my bag.
I
so
know I had
I'm not
one
exactly sure.
in a carry-on bag, but I don't know which one of these. I have no idea now what's what. I have these 2 new bags. I don't know what's in there.
So let's
Are
talk.
you guys sitting together on the plane? Or
Sort
are
of
you
close to.
okay,
I'm sitting
good.
next to Max, and TC's in
Good.
front of us.
Awesome.
So let's talk about Sweden because it's been a long time with the airport. So we get to Sweden, and then we have a 4-hour drive from Stockholm into the countryside because that's where Crystal's family is. And so the last time Crystal was visiting her family in Sweden was 20 years ago in 2005. Right?
That's so cool, man.
And it's funny because I remember when she went, and I remember the pictures of her family's place. It's out in the countryside. There's a lake there. Like this, all the Swedish houses are red, which is a unique thing that you don't see too often. Where at least where we drove, 4 hours north of Stockholm and around the Swedish countryside, all the houses are painted the same, like red and with white trim.
Interesting.
And so
I grew up in a red house.
That is to signify how boring the people are.
It is so cute.
It has to do with something like a long time ago. They used to have some sort of iron, mining, and then or copper. Some
The
sort of,
remnants were red, and
Yeah.
you could get
Yeah.
cheap paint using the
yeah, it
color.
may have been copper.
Like
It was
iron
a copper.
oxide or
Yeah.
It was a
something.
copper mine, and then that's what
That's
so
cool.
so like the paint they use, and then that kind of is a traditional.
It delineates
Sweden,
their area of Sweden, I guess, right?
But do white trim so there's white paint around too. So it's
Yeah.
boring.
Well, no, and then so they're very cultural over there, and they're very proud of their culture, and so the white trim on the red house
okay.
is a very Swedish thing, and the
White trim.
the
White
government,
trim.
if you're building a new house there, the government will give you your permit faster if you have red as the paint color than they will if you have any other color.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I don't like the government telling me what.
They
color
don't
to
tell
paint.
you.
I
They
don't know
just-
about this. I don't know about
They'll
this.
speed it up if you've got the traditional.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm going dark green.
I'm
Hunters.
going a little bit of red with my white and blue, thank you.
It's interesting too because, and we'll get to this later before we'll talk about visiting Crystal's family, but it's funny because I was like, I don't like the government telling me what I can and can't do.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
but,
sure some people say that.
Yeah, but there's also insane amounts of freedom too because they're not a litigious society. So I'll tell you about the water park we went to and the fact that there's no lifeguards around,
That's
there's
cool.
no rules as much, and there's no things are painted yellow and
They don't even assemble their furniture.
So it's there's very little restrictions in other corporate parts of the
Their
country.
meatballs are weird.
What is a standard home? So when I'm trying to picture these little red houses lined up, what square footage are they? Are they 2-story, 1-story? What are we?
I think they're all over the place.
Do they have a specific style house that is very
IKEA.
Is it small? Is it very small?
Well, it's not that small. It's
efficient though, right?
Everything's very efficient. Yeah.
Well, I
But
mean, IKEA's always been sort of like that.
one cousin, Nina, she lives on a farm with 6 houses and barns, and they're all humongous and built in 1800.
Oh wow.
And then Lila, the one that we stayed in her house, she has probably a 1,200 square foot 2-bedroom house
So
that,
just a small-
that they built 5 years ago, but the outside looks exactly the same as the 1800.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
cool.
it's like countryside.
I like
living,
that they hold on to that. Yeah, I think that's neat.
So, one of the days we stayed with Crystal's family. By the way, the most hospitable people in the world. Like literally, they gave us their house, their entire house to stay in, and they stayed in
An RV.
an RV
Oh, wow.
in the back. So they literally is like, here, you sleep in our room. The kids will sleep in
I
the
would
guest room.
definitely give you the RV.
That's
Yeah,
what I said.
I'm RV daddy all day. Yeah, I'm like, you guys are welcome to my RV.
No, but I learned all of a sudden. They did that for us, and I'm like, oh gosh, of course. They like if they come to visit us, we're gonna do the same for them. They can have my house.
No, but that's not
I
the
never
American way. That's
considered
the
it, though.
Swedish way. You need to do the American way. So
like,
you
Best
go to
Western?
You go,
Closest?
you like give them a
No.
suggestion. You give them they can stay within your home, but it is not a traditional American tradition to give up your bed.
They can't come visit anyway. All the houses are painted different. It would blow their minds. Like, it would blow.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been
Yeah.
Well, the last time they were here, I took them out in my old mildew boat.
I remember this.
And the prop, I broke
broke
the
it.
prop.
You broke
I
it.
hit a manatee or something and it spun the prop.
Killed wildlife.
I couldn't-
Nothing impresses the Swedes more than killing wildlife.
Well, I didn't know their ways back then. Now,
Now
I
you
know.
know. Now you know.
But-
Hey,
I
change your
think I
ways.
hit a manatee. Reach in that trash bag. Get me my manatee finishing gun.
Reaching that. Kudos for the trash bag callback.
But it's funny too because and I'll tell you about the dinner. They hosted a
I love this.
smorgasbord dinner for us.
This
in-
looked amazing.
in a barn that was built in the 1800s. Like it's so odd that everything over there is so old.
Yeah.
And we're not used to it, right? So like even when we were at the family dinner in the smorgasbord, which by the way they decorated the inside of the barn. I mean it
looked like a wedding venue.
It did.
it's
I thought you guys were at
ridiculous.
I thought you guys were at a venue until I realized that was their place, and this was really just for you guys and family visiting, and that's dope.
Which, by the way, I
That's
didn't
so
know
cool.
they went because I was like, oh, we're gonna go to Nina's house down the road from where we're staying, and they're gonna have a dinner. So I was like, okay. Then I walked in, I was like, whoa, it's like
Yeah.
this all the time. They're like, no, we did this for you. They built
Yeah,
the
that's
table.
because last time I was at your house, you got 2 Papa John's pizzas. 2. It was like a kid's birthday party. I believe you,
learned
Crystal.
something.
He says you're going chintzy on the pizza. 2 cheese, 1 cheese, 1 pepperoni. The hell are we
I'm
doing?
looking
here?
at
Let's
this-
roll out the red carpet.
I'm looking at this table and I'm like, my God, this is a nice long king's table.
barn's so
They're
dope.
like, oh yeah, we just built this for you
this.
guys.
What were the
this.
flowers?
You built the table.
What were the flowers hanging down?
There's
Like-
flowers
the lights-
everywhere because in the summertime they have like all these meadows just fill up with wildflowers, and they go out and they
Beautiful.
pick them and they
It was
just put them
beautiful.
everywhere.
It also doesn't turn night. We're so far north, the latitude's so high that it is like Alaska.
Oh, I love latitudes.
You know-
Met my wife there.
So and we're like there during the longest day. We got to see the midsummer celebration and like the
I'm
raise
so
the
glad you
maypole.
guys made that because you were worried about making the celebration because of the flight
Yeah,
debacle.
because it was at 3 p.m. on Friday and we landed. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but you made it.
In
You
terms
made
of
it.
the smorgasbord, Tom, I have so many. I can't decide myself. What Swedish chef joke did you go with?
Well,
I would have never thought of that. I forgot about the Swedish chef.
I was just
Morgan.
enjoying my. They were giving me beers.
Oh, yeah.
We were taking shots of schnapps, and they were doing Swedish, cheers songs, and I'm drinking.
Yeah.
But I'll get to that where I fell off my bike later.
They sang the theme
Uh-oh.
song to Cheers.
You know, I voted for
I
you,
love this
too.
place.
Because I rode a 1950s bicycle that they had in their barn,
It was
like
cool.
literally
like
from
a
the
Pee-wee
50s.
bike.
It looked like it was a World War II
Yeah,
bicycle.
it looked
Yeah.
like a
It was
messenger.
green with
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the guy stolen from American GI letter carrier or something.
Do they have their own version of Cheers, or did they just use our norm and everything?
It was like
No, they have their own songs. They have a different toast for every
Horsey, cork,
occasion.
and hork, and gorsey, gorsey, cork, and torque. Yeah, and then car, calarg.
But the nicest people too.
Yeah,
Like
it looked
everybody there is so polite and so nice. Like it's a pretty amazing place to be, where everybody's just super like, oh,
They're
like,
so welcoming. They were so happy to have us.
It looked
felt
like-
so nice.
And you could see, like, you had shared one of the posts from one of your relatives, and what she was like talking about, like, the opportunity to host you, like, and what it made her feel like. I thought that was really touching. It was cool. It's the fact that you guys have verifiable, real family that you can go to in a European country and stay and sign the barn and all. Like, I think it's amazing.
Well, let's talk about that. So then after dinner, we go and they're showing us around the farm that she
How
lives
big?
in. Like
Is it a
farmhouses.
huge farm
Well,
or
it's
just
not-
a little guy?
We say farm. There's no farming. You know,
It's just
there
countryside.
there probably used to be back in the day, but it's just like
More
you know,
like a
there's
collection of barns and houses.
Yeah, barns and houses in like the countryside. So there's a barn door that was signed by her grandfather and other generations of the family that Crystal signed 20 years ago, and then the boys signed or whatever. I'm looking at this door, and
You know, once you sign that barn door, you enter contract with the devil. You guys know that? I'm writing a movie.
there's signatures from the 1800s
Yeah.
on the door,
And they're coming back.
Like-
This Halloween, they're coming back.
and then like
Halloween.
like one of the family members' boyfriends or partners was like, "Hey, you want to see my gym? I can
I
tell
know
you."
what that means.
I could tell you work out.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell you work
yeah.
out. You want to see? And then I'm like, oh yeah. So then in
For an American, you are very unfact.
You must not like French fries.
Well, yeah, there's so many. Yeah, they don't have the health too that these people live like with actual like no sugar, like all the
Yeah,
sodas are So
Sounds great.
I go to this gym that he put some gym equipment in this room that was an old horse stable, right? And it looks like he's working out inside one of the rooms at the St. Augustine Fort.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm
Like it's got like the doorway is low and everything's kind of like
Built-
short.
like in middle of 1800s
Yeah.
and stuff. You're just like, you work out.
This is where they used to behead the traitors.
Like everything old is so they're used to it
Yeah.
because everything there is old. And then so there's the second story of this barn, and the boys were up there, and they found an old bookcase, right?
Oh, they found a book of spells.
They
This goes in my
Did
movie.
find out the
absolutely.
spells.
This goes in my movie.
They
find the writings of old Jebediah.
The prophecy.
They start reading his prophecy.
It looked like something in a museum, like something that were behind, like you couldn't touch. Like they were opening up books, and then they were from the early 1800s. There was one from 1742, which I was like, wait a minute,
They had books back then.
Well,
Ross,
we
I was
really
like-
wanted to know, like, when was the printing press made?
No, seriously, Ross, I was like,
1742.
I was like 1740. That's before the United States.
They
Like,
didn't even have American. They had books.
I thought-
What the hell kind of paper is that?
I'm like, they wrote the Declaration of Independence by pen.
Is this the first Bible?
That's how little I know
Is
about
that
history.
human skin they done wrote on?
Yeah, like I doubted if they actually had the printing press. I had
Yeah.
to look it up on my
It's supposed to
phone.
belong to Pharaoh.
And
That there's Cleopatra's Bible.
everything we're wandering. I'm like, you live here. This would be. Like a museum in St. Augustine, it's like where you live. Like like there's things on the
Well,
floor.
I mean, obviously their culture is allowed them.
It's just older.
Well, they are taught to appreciate that sort of stuff, right? Like I would imagine that sort of stuff has value to
Man,
it.
I don't need any of that old crap. I'll give me a Dan Brown book at Walmart. I'm all good to go.
It was insane how old everything
that's
is.
cool.
And
The boys on the barn.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's neat.
And then, so then we were leaving there. I got on my 1950 bike, and then there's gravel in the front of the house.
They
and
drink
then
a lot.
Oh yeah.
They were, and I don't know if it was because we were there. I think that's
Maybe
probably
party
true.
on,
Like they're
yeah.
staying up later, and they're like offering, and so TC was offered a gin and tonic at the end of the night, and it's light outside, so it's 11 p.m. and it looks like it's 6
And
o'clock.
you just gotten back from having sex with that boy in the gym.
I started drinking gin and tonics, and because it gets
How fancy did you feel drinking a gin and tonic?
well
Pretty fancy,
after
right?
all the beers at dinner and the shots,
Yeah.
like I was feeling it. And then I get on my bike. I fell over in the front yard when
Everyone was outside saying goodbye.
Oh, very American to fall off a bike. Very American.
And then I was like, I was wearing sandals, by the way. Which,
They're like, look, just like the President Biden.
yeah, there he is. Same memory.
and it is weird that it never actually turns to night, and it just gets like the sun goes down, but it's like dusk. and then that's the night.
Oh, so there's like never any dark or use for candles at all ever?
In the wintertime, there is.
Yeah, and that's why
It's always dark.
Yeah, and that's when I realized like, oh man, winter's rough here when it's like just all the time night, pitch black a lot.
Yeah, I wonder how that would be after the first like month. How long does it last? The 24-hour night.
I'm sure you adapt, but like I grew up in Pennsylvania and like we didn't get a lot of sun, but now that I live here in Florida, if it's like cloudy for 2 days, I get grumpy.
Yeah, I know they use candlelight to.
They need that.
Yeah, it's like it gives you more of like a sun
Aren't there
type of
special
light.
lamps too?
I don't know. There might be. I didn't see any.
Hey man,
but
Jewish people got special ovens.
But all their lantern areas, like over the dining table, they all are like for like actual candles.
And I just want to clarify, Dan, you're talking about the Sabbath ones that turn on Sunday for like
yeah.
observant Jews. I just want to.
Thank you for circling
it
back
was
on
a little
that.
bit circumspect. I just want to clarify.
I'm glad you circled back on
Absolutely.
that. Thank you.
By the way,
Real pro over here.
During dinner, like I had to stop myself from just making fun of America because that's what I go to, which I think it was uncomfortable for them because
Really?
yeah, well, because they're like about pride in your country and stuff, and then so they not the like I was just talking about how like I love the Swedish culture and and then they were like,
well, they mentioned that they pay $500 a year for homeowners insurance, right? And then we were like, my God, we pay $5,000 a year or whatever. And then it's like, well, what do you pay for this? And they're like, nothing. And we're like, oh my God, we pay. How much maternity leave do you get? Well, we don't get any. And it just kind of went down that road, and then
yeah, but how much freedom do they got?
Hey, we know.
well, I was about to tell you the water park freedom.
Can I bring my trash bags to your country freely or not?
Which they were. I was like, well, we don't have too much culture in the United States.
We got Brock Lesnar, man.
I just googled it. 0 eagles in Sweden. Not one eagle.
Yeah. I was like, it's like because everybody here is Swedish. Like we have a bunch of different culture, really. Like everybody's got different culture.
Well, I think that's our culture.
But there's no really American culture that you could say like,
you want a purebred culture.
No.
Yeah, it's very in right now.
we
to
were
like
just comparing. That's all.
And then they're like, well, you guys have 4th of July coming up, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I was embarrassed today, like, yeah, for our American culture, we just blow up Chinese trash in the air.
But it's not just that. I mean, there are plenty of people that. I mean, like, if you were in a military household, you would probably have some things that mirror the same thing. But
No, I guess it was just more like everybody there recycles a certain way, right? Like they have 6 cans under the sink for one is for organic composting, one is for plastic, one is for metal, one is for glass.
Do they know
everybody
that
does
One is for
this.
paper, like
One
it's,
is for paper.
do they know that recycling's fake?
Well,
not
I
over
was telling
there.
them, I was like, in Florida, they just tell us that
it's fake.
take it all to
in
the
America,
dump. Like, oh my
recycling
God.
is fake.
They're like, why would you do that?
So
I'm like,
why
I
would it
don't
be real there? So who verified that it's real there? It might be fake. I'm telling you.
Tom, you are the Swedish Yakov Smirnoff to like tie the two halves of AC together. You went to Sweden and said, in America, we don't even really recycle.
Yeah.
In America, we have 6 cans.
Yeah.
That's just 3 women. That's a decent joke, I think, for Yakov. Maybe
off
a little,
top of your head?
Probably a little too
not
dirty.
bad.
Probably a little too dirty. For
Real quick,
from it.
and I'm going to tell the Hut story in the BDM show.
yeah,
Because
if you want to
and
hear
the
that,
Moose on,
you got to sign up. That's a.
But
You've got a story about the Weeknd's new album, Hurry Up Tomorrow?
So we spent 3 days hanging out with family. It was awesome. It's so nice. It really cool. I mean, that we should have stayed there the whole time, honestly, because that was the coolest part. But so on the drive down to Stockholm, Crystal found this indoor water park.
If you like pee outside, you'll love pee inside.
And it was kind of a way to bring, give the boys something like, because I wouldn't have chosen a water park. Obviously, we come from Orlando. Like, the last thing I want to go to is some amusement park.
I just thought we'd be sitting in the countryside for 3 days, not doing anything exciting for them, and then 2 days in a wilderness hut. And I thought, let's give them a little excitement.
It looked like one of those. What's that company that Meow Wolf? Is that right? Is that the name of it? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Those crazy theme parks that are all like sort of indoors. That's what it reminded me of. Like, it looked like that very modern-y, like Is it quiet inside there? Like, describe the.
No, it's like music and lights. It's like a club happening.
That's what I mean. Like, I think that this is a kind of a new thing that maybe started in Europe just because of the weather.
It was an old factory, yeah. Like, and you could tell it was probably more busy in the winter. Like,
right.
The locals are like, I'm not going inside. Like, this is the only time they could be outside is the summer.
Right.
Like, everybody in the summer, everybody's outside. Like,
I get my 3 months of sunshine.
Yeah, because it is only 3. And that also they appreciate it a lot more. They're like,
bet.
when it's light outside, we're staying up as late as possible. We're getting
like
as
that.
much as possible
Yeah.
because winter's coming, and there's a lot of Game of Thrones stuff that I found out in like Stockholm. Like a lot of Game of Thrones stories came obviously out of Europe and but Stockholm too. But so we're in this water park, and I didn't really experience this before because we're in the Swedish countryside and whatever, we're not out in public that much. But I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, Europe is there's no suing in Europe is less litigious, so they let people gotta do what they want, and they're like, hey, you're responsible for yourself. Don't drown in here.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, hey,
Was it the
watch
same-
your
Watch
kids.
Watch your children.
Was it the same basic process? Did you have to fill out a form?
No
or
form.
click a thing?
I didn't have to show an ID or.
Oh,
fill out
that's
a-
nice.
And
That's nice.
And
There was
also,
no waiver.
it was cheap.
No waiver.
Yeah.
It
So
was like $18.
Oh, come on now. That's fantastic.
So there's a rock climbing wall in.
I saw Tommy doing this. That looked amazing.
But wait, there's no life. I saw 2 lifeguards. Like one at the beginning. Like there's one upstairs, and that's it. Like
One of them's just a dummy.
Like
This place was like a maze of walls, and it's dark, and you can't see. If you're standing over here, you can't see anything going on over there.
like blind spots. Like
Yeah.
Oh, so it was IKEA design.
Yeah,
it's
like
a
this.
drowning hazard for sure.
Like
but,
that mall that old man died inside. Yeah.
But it's like there's like there's a floating like I can only describe it as like a bounce house without walls that's tied up to the rafters that is like in about chest high, maybe chin high of water. And
You're just showing a platform.
there's kids climbing on it, flinging off like
Yeah.
and there's not even a lifeguard watching them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
And I
They're
know
like
what you
hitting
think.
the walls. The walls are like tiled, They're just like bumping into the walls with their heads.
Yeah. And I know what you think. There could be a pedophile hiding in there. No pedophiles in Sweden. I don't know if you know
Which
that.
is like to make sure your kids don't get pedophile doesn't get them. Like it's your responsibility.
Yeah, you better
like,
be
watch your
watching them.
kids.
You better be
I
watching
love
them.
that.
Yeah.
Like there's also it's weird too. Like the sodas all 0 sugar. Like at a water park.
Except Coke. You
Oh,
can
did
get
they-
a, you
oh,
get
you
a
can get a
Coke,
Coke?
but
Okay.
everything else, any Fanta, Sprite, it's all 0.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand that.
That is weird.
It's all
Yeah.
health oriented, It's like you don't want the kids sugar.
and you can't buy caffeine unless you're 15.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that weird?
I don't necessarily hate that.
It's supposed to
I
be.
don't
It's
really
18
hate
here. Like you're not supposed to be able to buy a Monster or whatever unless you're 18.
Really?
But in the
what about a
free,
Diet
I
Coke?
didn't know that.
in the free state of Florida, you can buy anything you want.
But like a Coke Zero or something like that. Because I remember I bought some vitamin drink at the grocery store.
It was after you met that boy in his gym, right? You were hanging out with him. You felt like the need to be more healthy.
And I was in self-checkout, and they were like, "Oh, cashier needed for approval."
Crystal needs a bag.
And
The
And,
bags are in here, man.
and I was like, "What the hell? I didn't buy any alcohol or whatever." And they're like, "Oh, she put in her code, and she's like, oh, it's because of caffeine. You have to be 15
Crazy.
to buy caffeine." I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I don't hate that.
Yeah. But
I don't have a problem with that. After seeing kids like collapse after drinking Red Bulls and stuff,
absolutely.
come on.
Yeah.
You don't need that garbage.
But
That's
I
awesome.
do, but they don't.
Did you go down? Did you go down on the slides?
Yeah. They had one where and like they were letting at the beginning of every typical water park, there's an employee standing there asking letting the kids down or whatever. This is like
At the top of the slide, making sure the bottom of the slide's clear.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
that's to make sure your heads don't hit together.
Correct.
I guess.
and there's a green light, a red and green, to tell you when to go.
Yeah.
And most people were following it, but there was some kids were just going 3 at a time or whatever. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And there's no one at the bottom to be like, "Hey, you kids, get out!" Like it was just
if
like,
he
"Hey."
does, he does.
It's just like they let people do what they want.
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Unless it's painting your house a color other than red. Other than that,
That's the trade.
Good to go.
Which-
That's the trade. You gotta have a red house with it. You go to the water park, you get ripped.
I was like, I wish I could show someone the lifeguard that stands at Fort Wilderness splash pad during the winter and watches nobody at a splash pad and the insurance
And there's
agency,
not even a body of water in there.
Yeah, there's nowhere to drown, but
No.
a lifeguard literally has to stand there because the insurance agency
50
is like,
degrees outside. Feet are
every
getting wet.
water.
Could rain.
Yeah,
Fill up with rainwater and a child could stumble in there.
Yeah. And anyway, so I'll tell you about the hut and the eco lodge that we stayed at.
Yes,
And the BDM show.
And on the BDM show, I'll tell you about that secret firework that Craig doesn't want to sell you, but I'll tell you about it.
Hey, I
the
wanna
Pirate
get
Spot
that.
fireworks. We're also.
wanna get that.
Are you gonna be there later today? I gotta
I'll
go
probably
by.
be at the tent tonight. I'm in the warehouse a lot. I want fireworks.com. If you do a warehouse order and you come by and I'm there, I will give you something free off of our weird remainders palette.
All right.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Just a bunch of stuff, weird stuff.
Well, I'm glad you guys had an awesome trip. It
Yeah,
sounded absolutely amazing.
I'll,
I would be planning to go back if I had family there. I'd be like, man, we got to do this
Yeah.
all the time.
Sign that door.
You know, it's getting out to Europe is
Hard.
a long.
Especially with 4 people. That's not easy. But you guys did it. You did it. Well done.
But yeah, I'll tell you about the eco lodge and the moose hunt and all that. Some Stockholm
Hey, I know what a
stuff
moose hunt is.
on the BDM show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Save that. It got hot in here. Thanks for coming in, Crystal.
How's the flight back?
It was uneventful.
That's good though,
It was,
right? Don't you want uneventful?
back, that's what you need.
It was a 2-hour delay leaving Stockholm, and then it was like a 3-hour delay in New York. But we had our stuff with us, so it was no.
It took like from the time we woke up to get home, it was 24 hours.
Oh, that's rough.
And Crystal's mom got stuck in New York.
My mom didn't get home until last night.
Oh man, that was so cool that they came too, though.
So,
All right. Let me put us on. I'm jumping over, right? Yes, I'm jumping over to Facebook.
Yeah.